Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the September 3rd Dare County Board of Commissioners meeting. At this time, I'd like to call forward the Reverend Betsy Haas for invocation. Reverend Haas, thank you for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let us pray together. Gracious and loving God, what a beautiful day you have provided for us. We thank you for the crispness of this fall air, and as we breathe it in, may we breathe out the heaviness of summer with all of its crowds and traffic and hard work. Father, you've provided this day for us so that we might join together here and breathe in the power of your Holy Spirit as we breathe out anything that might distract us from the focus and the importance of the work we are about to do this morning. We pray that we would breathe in a spirit of unity and harmony and breathe out any self-importance or division. Father, I thank you for the work of this group. I thank you for the commissioners sitting before me. I thank you for the public sitting behind me. That as we gather today to do the good work of Dare County, we pray that you would infuse us with your power, with your wisdom, and give us discernment to be about the good work of caring for our people here in Dare County. Father, thank you for being with us this day. In Jesus' name we pray. All together, all of God's children said, Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Haas. May we stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
County Manager, I turn it.
Good morning. Item 1 on the agenda is the chairman's opening remarks.
Okay, thank you. I just have a few things this morning. And I'd like to start out with some humor. Commissioner Ross, you familiar with little Johnny jokes, aren't you?
I am, yes, sir.
Okay, I figured. Now, they can be, some of them can, little Johnny jokes can be a little rough on the edges there, but I'll tell one that's a little more appropriate. Little Johnny comes home from school one afternoon. He tells his father, he says, tomorrow, Dad, he said, there's going to be a special adult evening at school. And his father looks at him, he says, with a surprised look on his face, and he says, really? A special meeting, huh? He said, yes, sir. He said, it's going to be you, the teacher, the headmaster, and 2 police officers. Obviously, the week of the hurricane was a difficult week for a lot of us, as a lot of anticipation, not knowing what was going to happen. And I just want to publicly, I've said this to them personally, but I want to publicly thank our county employees. Multiple days. I think I was at EOC for 7 days in a row, early in the morning until the afternoon, and our staff, our public information officer, Dorothy Hester, and her staff, just putting out notices left and right. We met with our EOC director, Drew Pearson. Just did an incredible job. He had the weather service on with us every single morning. We talked to the senior leadership group, which advises me and gives me their opinion, and that's representative of the mayors, all the mayors in the county, and sheriff's department. They just did a tremendous job. Health department, social services. We had a great relationship with NCDOT. They had 35 plus pieces of equipment staged and ready to deal with issues on NC-12 prior to the storm. Our parks superintendent, Halleck, worked very, very closely with us. Fire, EMS had their folks staged in specific areas so that we'd make sure that we could take care of Hatteras Island. So all in all, it wasn't our first rodeo. and I don't think anybody up and down the coast does it any better than Dare County employees and staff, and I just wanted to publicly thank all of y'all for what you did, and thank heavens we didn't get a direct hit, but the season isn't over yet. There's another storm out there now. It's probably 8-10 days or more away. We're hoping that that'll do like several of the others did, and that's turn out, but we'll deal with it when it comes. But once again, thanks to all those folks. As you know, Buxton was hit pretty hard. The FUD site was considerably damaged, and some additional materials were uncovered there due to the storm. The residents in Buxton on the ocean front got hit pretty hard. I want to publicly thank the Buxton Civic Association. They mustered up some, 200 folks, I believe, this past Saturday, Mary Ellen, to pick up debris. The county provided containers for them to put the debris in there. Superintendent Halleck and his staff cleaned up the Buxton site, the county manager, myself, and Commissioner Balance. We met with the colonel from the Corps this past week down there. I wrote a pretty strong letter to Senator Tillis, Bud, and Murphy. I'd like to think that the letter I wrote stimulated the Corps to act quickly, so they came down the very next day, and they've got a plan. I basically said, enough's enough. This piecemeal fix is not working. We need to clean up the complete site once and for all. So
they sent Sheila Smith. She's the director of environment.
Right.
For Army Corps.
Yes.
From Washington D.C. that next day.
Yeah, the very next day. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that the colonel assured me that they were going to do everything they humanly possibly could to mitigate this site once and for all. So we'll stay in touch with them on that and work with them on that. And of course, last but not least, there's some, just want to remind the public, there's some intermittent travel delays on NC-12 today and tomorrow because our water department has a project to cover a 700-foot section of water line with fill materials near the Haulover Sound access located at Cape Hatteras National Seashore. And this will take about today and tomorrow. NC-12 will be closed for approximately 5 minutes each time a truck arrives to offload fill material near the water line, which is expected to occur every 30 to 60 minutes on both today and tomorrow. The first truck was scheduled to arrive this morning at about 8:30. So sections of that beach will be closed for the north of the seashore side off-road vehicle ramp 59 during this project period, due to staging heavy equipment there. So just keep that in your mind when you're heading south these next 2 days. That's all I have this morning, County Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That'll take us to item 2 on our agenda, and this is the presentation of our service pins. First this morning, we have Noah Gillum here to get his 10-year pin from Dustin Peel.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the board. This morning, I have the privilege of presenting our planning director, Mr. Noah Gillum, with his 10 years of service pin. You all know Noah very well and all the great things he does for Dare County. So there's probably not much that I can say that you don't already know. However, what you may not see is all that Noah deals with on a day-to-day basis. NOAA routinely manages challenging tasks, that require a great knowledge about code and ordinances. He demonstrates compassion for the individuals he works with. He plays a critical role in the county's disaster response, most recently seen after Hurricane Aaron, and he does all of this while being even-keeled and level-headed. Additionally, NOAA and the county attorney meet regularly to discuss the various ordinances, how they're written, how they're enforced, and how they should be applied to unique situations. To my knowledge, there's never been an instance where NOAA's interpretation of a code has differed from the county attorney's. I think that's significant and noteworthy. NOAA does an outstanding job of being consistent and neutral as it relates to working with the community and the projects that they develop. It goes without saying that NOAA is extremely well-versed in all aspects of his job. In my opinion, and I think many of you would agree, NOAA manages one of the most difficult departments in all of Dare County. He and his staff regularly are faced with some of the most complex and polarizing issues in the county, and he navigates these issues with extreme skill and tact. I believe we all can agree that the county is fortunate to have NOAA as our planning director, and I'd like to congratulate NOAA on a very successful 10 years of service. Thank you for all you do, and I look forward to seeing where you take planning in the next 20 years. And before we turn around for photos, I've not had the privilege of working with NOAA for as long as the county manager has, so if there's anything, Bob, you'd like to add, please do so.
Sure. I can't add a lot to but I will say that when NOAA was hired, Donna and you all had been used to working with Donna forever. And we talked at some length about who did we need, what did we need, who fit the bill. She was nearing the end of her career. What's our succession plan? Is this person that we're going to hire going to be able to step into her shoes and then seamlessly move the planning department and all the things that you just heard that he does forward as we went forward? And NOAA has fit the bill perfectly. We've seamlessly gone from one to the other. We do our jobs, we do it well, and so I can't say enough good things, and appreciate all that you've done for this party, and as Dustin said, looking forward to the next 20. So thanks.
Thank you.
Next, we have Shannon Fultz. She's to receive her 15-year pin from Sally Laws.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. How are you? So this is Shannon Fultz. It's my privilege to introduce Shannon as we honor her for her 15 years. She's been a social worker with the Social Services Division of the Department of Health and Human Services for her entire 15 years with the county. Her hiring manager, who is not me, at the time has been noted as saying that Shannon was the best hiring decision that she ever made. Shannon began her career at Pitt County Department of Social Services after receiving her Master of Social Work degree, but after her stint there, she decided to move back to her hometown, so her relocation to her hometown was Dare County's win. When you find your calling, you stick with it, and Shannon has found her calling. Many might think it is a difficult calling because Shannon works in Child Protective Services, but Shannon has a true gift to do this work. In the words of the great philosopher, singer, and songwriter Tim McGraw, always stay humble and kind, and these 5 words epitomize Shannon. She is humble and she is kind, but I'm thrilled today that she came here to let me say some nice words about her due to her humbleness. Shannon connects with people. She is gracious and she gives grace. She gives me grace every single day. Shannon is supportive of her team members and the families she serves. She is quick on her feet and is always ready to find solutions to problems. She cares deeply about the family she serves and cares about the success of her team members because at the end of the day, Shannon knows that we do this work together, not alone. But Shannon is more than what she does for a living. She's also a wife. She's a mother of two, Grayson and Riley. She's a volleyball coach. She loves to watch Riley and Grayson, who are elementary and a brand new middle school age, play sports. She drives a vehicle large enough to be called a soccer mom, even though her current sport involvement is volleyball and football, but her kids also do softball, baseball, I think. She's a camper, meaning one who camps. She raises chickens, I think for the eggs, not for the wings. She's a good cook, and she bakes an occasional cake. So congratulations, Shannon, and thank you for all you do. Thank you.
Next, if Beth Bradley will come forward to receive her 15-year pin from Chuck Lossett.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Chuck.
This is Beth Bradley. She's our Adult Services Supervisor. She supervises the Adult Protective Services Unit, and those individuals investigate reports of abuse, neglect, and exploited adults. She's also responsible for managing the Guardianship Services Program, the In-Home Aid Program, the Veteran Services Officer, and also she, as we most recently saw, manages the Special Medical Needs Registry for Dare County. She became a supervisor in May 2022. She's been with the county since 2010, where she started as an education specialist in the health department. She then moved on to an income maintenance worker in August 2012. One of the unique things before we became DHHS is Beth had the opportunity to become a social work trainee to earn her time and experience becoming a social worker. And she did that through 2013 when she did become a social worker. And then in later that year, she became a social worker 3 in the Adult Protective Services Unit, where she's been serving since then. In 2024, Beth's notable accomplishment was establishing a multidisciplinary team to address adult issues in Dare County, develop solutions to those, and also bring together all the individuals who are involved in an investigation for adult protective services. So not only they understand, but we also can deal with some systemic issues. Beth has a positive attitude. She's compassionate, she's kind, and she's a true team player. And I'm proud to give her 15-year pin today, and we look forward to at least 15 more. So, congratulations.
Next, if Kim Holder will come forward to receive her 20-year pin from Andy Dutton.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy Dunton, supervisor at the Skyco Water Treatment Plant. We're here this morning to recognize Kim Holder's 20-year anniversary. She started September 26th in '05, and I had the pleasure of becoming Kim's supervisor 10 years ago. During this time together, she's been an exemplary employee. She helps me in more ways than I can count, and she's always there for everyone. She's a mentor to new employees, teaches them the ropes, even if they don't want to listen sometimes. And that's about all I have to say, I think. And you can thank her for the great water that we have, Dare County, Roanoke Island, the beach. So, and I thank you for being here for me.
Thank you.
That brings us to item 3 on our agenda. That's our Employee of the Month. We're going to try to get caught up this month. We have 2. So we have our August Employee of the Month as well as our September Employee of the Month. For the August Employee of the Month, I'd ask Chuck Lysette to come forward to make that presentation.
Good morning again.
Yes, sir.
I think we can all agree that at one time or another, we have a staff person who we can characterize as the silent achiever. This is someone who quietly goes about mastering their skills, influences change, and can be called upon to tackle the most difficult assignments. For social services, that person is Jessica Bricky. Will you please join me? Jessica joined Dare County Health and Human Services as a Child Protective Services social worker on Hatteras Island in May 2018. In 2022, she transitioned to the Manio office and began working in the Permanency Planning Unit as a foster care social worker. She is part of a child welfare unit who excels in their work because of their ability to operate as a team. Jessica has been no different. While she focuses on the families and the children on her caseload, she seeks opportunities to jump in and assist her coworkers. In addition to her role as a foster care social worker, she takes her turn as the intake social worker and on-call social worker. She's the ultimate team player. For Jessica, the term normal workday does not exist. Some days her work begins at 0500 to accommodate the schedules of the families she serves. On other days, she's returning from an out-of-town visit with children and parents well after her own family has eaten dinner. She works tirelessly to ensure the safety and well-being of foster children while supporting parents in their efforts towards reunification. When that's not possible, she's equally dedicated to finding safe, loving, long-term placements. She ensures that children she's entrusted to work with have the best services and caregivers possible. She has achieved high regards for her court testimony. She's honest, objective, and skilled at communicating complex information clearly under pressure. Let me enlighten you with two of Jessica's accomplishments. Most recently, she assisted a mom with reunifying with her child after a stay at a residential rehabilitation program. Jessica increased her visits, even though it was several hours away, to ensure that the family received comprehensive services and created a wraparound plan for when they returned to Dare County. For another family, transportation was limited, and the family was not going to be able to attend the child's awards banquet or fall festival, events the child was looking forward to. Jessica made sure to rearrange her own schedule, traveling to ensure the mother and child attended the banquet and festival. In the most chaotic environments, Jessica is a calming presence. Whether it's advocating for a foster child's mental health evaluation or de-escalating a tense conversation with a parent, she handles every situation with patience, professionalism, and empathy. She embodies the very best of what social work stands for, and with that, I am proud to present you the August 25 Dare County Employee of the Month, Jessica Bricky.
And then for our September Employee of the Month, if Jenny Collins would come forward to make that presentation.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. I'd like to introduce, this is Lieutenant Brooke Outwall-Rusk. She was a little surprised as she just found out that the real reason why she was here this morning, because we got her here under false pretenses. But Brooke works in our logistics section, which at Station 1, we have that central warehouse that all the 9 station supplies come into and all the vehicle supplies come into. So Brooke is the Radar O'Reilly of the EMS department in making sure that things get inventoried when they come in, the invoicing, the packing slips, all that process is accounted for, and things get stocked. The individual stations do a weekly supply request that through the inventory system, which is all barcoded, that she has set up, from everything from whether it's a Band-Aid to an IV solution to an IV catheter needle, or the boots that we have on or the uniform pants are all barcoded, and the orders come in, she scans them, it gets delivered out to the station, and she makes things that need to be resupplied. In addition to supplying items for all of our public events, whether it's going to a preschool to talk about ambulances and 911 safety, or to career fairs, or to open houses, that we have items that we need to share with the public. That is all coming from Brooke. And she keeps us all very organized with that. And for that, Brooke, I want to thank you for all your efforts. This was a nomination from your peers because they recognize how much you do to make their job a little easier every day. So thank you very much for being County Employee of the Month for September.
Before we go to public comment, will those of you that received an award go right out here with Caitlin to get a picture made, please? Ladies and gentlemen, now's the time that's been set aside for public comment. If you have public comment this morning and you've not signed up, please raise your hand. I'll recognize you. When I do, please come to the podium, state your name and where you're from. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. There's a green light on the podium that'll come on when your time begins. There's a yellow light on the podium that'll come on when you have about a minute left, and when the red light comes on, you need to conclude your remarks. If you're here to speak to the Colington zoning map amendment or to the transportation grant application, those are two public hearings that are coming up later in the agenda. Please wait until then to make your public comment on those two issues. So is anyone here for public, I'm sorry, on our list we have Lee Goldman.
Good morning, gentlemen and ladies. How are you? Wow, that thing started right away. You got rid of most of my audience I was kind of hoping for here. It's that time of year. I'm here to invite the people of Dare County once again to the annual 9/11 Memorial Walk that'll be starting over at Dare EMS Station 1, Kildover Hills Station 14. As always, it's a public event open to everybody. I do recommend try to get there a little early for parking. We're expecting a lot more people this year. And I've had a lot of people reach out. Also, it is good to see everybody here attend, and I hope more people that are watching this attend. Can't guarantee on the weather. Rumor has it might be a little cool, which is nice for a change. Other than that, that's all I really had in reference to the 9/11 walk. There are going to be, like I said, fellowship afterwards, a lot more flags, and hopefully a lot more people. That was the first thing I had, so I was trying to save myself an extra 3 minutes. With that, I do have an event that's bringing some other people together. It's going to be the first annual Colington Fire Department fire truck pull. Didn't know the chief was going to be here, so it's a surprise to him too. We are picking a different charity each year to share in the proceeds of the entry fees that we'll be having that day. This year we reached out to the Beach Food Pantry and spoke to Elizabeth, and she is very excited that that is going to be the event this year. It's going to be teams of 6, and it will be held October 5th, which is the Sunday prior to the week of fire prevention. It's $120 per team. Anybody can join up with a team of 6. There'll be free hot dogs, at least until they run out. Captain Franks was nice enough to supply us with some. I'm hoping to run out with the amount of people that'll be there. This is something that we're going to look forward to each year. You can go online and check it either through the Colington Fire Department Facebook page. See me. I have lots of copies of applications and what you can join. We've sent it out to most of the fire agencies. I believe I sent it to the county. Also most of the gyms, because they like to pull stuff and push it back. And each year we are going to look for a different charity to go in with us and then spread that wealth throughout all the charities in Dare County. And I hope to see some other people out there. And that's it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a good point. Had asked for permission through Kildova Hills and Lowe's, and Kildova Hills signed off on the paperwork for the permits, and Lowe's is allowing us to use their parking lot. So we've pretty much have everything, the rope, the spot for it. We do have one team that's already signed up. A lot of people have said, yes, we're signing up, but you got to put it on the paper. And so I have an idea as to what to purchase. We may purchase T-shirts, will be there. Not too sure how that's going to go yet. Still working on that. But that's all I have. Does anybody have? You have a fire hydrant. I do. I have lots.
You end up getting that rope from the Coast Guard?
Still working on it. If not, they said they're going to bring it.
All right, if not,
I'm kind of hoping it shows up. If not, we do have Plan B over in Manio.
Yeah, that's my stuff.
Yeah.
We'll
I
get
didn't
you straight
realize
if
that
they
was you
don't.
there.
Yeah.
If not, you feel free to hook us up, you know? But I will leave some of the flyers here for you if you'd like. Anybody else have any other questions about that? Anything? 9/11 or?
What time is the walk in the 9/11?
I'm sorry.
What time is the walk?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You didn't say the time.
Oh, okay. If everybody shows up roughly before 8:30, we do have, too bad. Different topic. We are going to have the national anthem sung this year by a member of the Dare County Choir. I was hoping to coordinate that with something with the Air Force or the Navy, but I'm still working on that. The walk itself starts at 8:46 in the morning. That is the time that the first plane had struck the first tower. So we've started at every time. Like I said, this will be the 4th year. There will be fellowship after. There will be a prayer prior. When we get to the top, we are going to take a break. Hopefully, we don't exactly need it if the weather is a lot cooler.
Where do you walk again, Lee?
We walk to the top of the monument. It's nice when people actually walk the top of the monument. There's no meetness there. Go for the walk. If you can't make it up the monument, wait to the bottom. We'll catch you on the way back. There will be vans if you can't, and also talking to the Park Service, there may also be a vehicle to take a person up to the top of the hill. Anyway. I think that's it. I think I've answered all the questions. Anybody else have anything? Feel free to reach out to me. I know most of you guys have my number. I know where to find me. Thank you very much for your time. And Mary Ellen, I have some flyers here for you.
Next is John Frederick.
My apologies. I'm actually going to be commenting on item 9.
Sure. Next is Carol Dillon.
Good morning. I'm getting too old to do this. I've been coming into this building for over 30 years, asking for help for Hatteras Island. We have a very broken, sick barrier island. First, I want to thank you for your leadership in the aftermath of Hurricane Erin and for your ongoing concern and support for Buxton's shoreline, the beach nourishment, and the jetty stabilization. I must speak frankly, Buxton is in crisis. The large hole that is in the jetty now is acting like a massive fire hose, accelerating currents that carve 20-foot drop-offs and deep trenches along the shoreline. This is one of the reasons the past beach nourishment efforts have failed. Without urgent stabilization and jetty repair, Buxton faces an erosion emergency that threatens homes, Highway 12, tourism, and the very survival of our community. The damage from Hurricane Erin has accelerated this crisis to a breaking point. If bold action is not taken immediately, we risk not only losing the property, but the cultural and economic foundation of Hatteras Island. A practical and proven solution exists: deploying decommissioned naval ships offshore as breakwaters. Across the United States and globally, scuttled vessels have been used successfully to absorb wave energy, stabilize coastlines, create thriving artificial reefs. Programs in Virginia, South Carolina, Texas, and around the world demonstrate that this approach works. North Carolina should not be left behind. Currently, 2 ships, the USS Lee Gulf and the USS Vicksburg, are available. These vessels could serve as both erosion control structures and artificial reefs, boosting marine ecosystems, recreational fishing, and tourism. This is not an experimental, it is a tested, cost-effective measure that aligns with both environmental and economic goals. The insanity of the 1973 North Carolina ban on hardened structures has left our coastline dangerously exposed. Nature has always been altered by human intervention through dredging, jetties, and nourishment projects. To keep allowing nature to take its course now while refusing proven protective measures is to abandon our communities to destruction. Look around the world and understand that engineering of today, cities are being built in the middle of oceans. Airports in Hong Kong, Japan, Korea, all around the world have invested in things like pteropods, giant concrete wave dissipating structures like reef balls here in the United States. Thousands of reef balls have been used for erosion control, Miami, Tampa Bay, South Carolina, Chesapeake Bay, and all around the world. They break waves before they hit the beach, provide a habitat creation made from pH-balanced concrete that lasts centuries. I have no connection to reef ball. I do know the owner, and he does believe he could stabilize Oregon and Hatteras Inlet, stopping the endless erosion caused by dredging. What part of dredging is allowing nature to take its course? Of course, the need for navigational inlets are critical, but saving an island that is the birthplace of America is too. Dubai created new land in an open ocean, proving that large-scale stabilization and constructions are possible when political and financial will are available. Imagine if Oregon Inlet closed completely. What would the response be? I saw that inlet driving up here this morning. A lot of sand was pushed with Hurricane Erin. Buxton is a 5-alarm fire. Buxton is on fire. I urge the Board of Commissioners to use your influence at the state and federal levels. Does that mean I have 26 seconds? Okay. I had a few things more to say, but Buxton has stood at the edge of the Atlantic, known as the graveyard of the Atlantic, for countless ships offshore. Today, we can turn that history into resilience, using ships with purpose to defend our shoreline and secure our future. When the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers began this work in 1967, they installed 3 jetties to protect the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. That intervention changed our coastline forever. We ask you to champion this measure and bring federal and state partners to the table to ensure that Buxton is not abandoned. And with respect and determination, I had the rest of the letter that I will let you have copies of that I wasn't able to speak, but I did want you to see a picture of the Ash Wednesday 1963 inlet that was created, and also what ships do in the Outer Banks. They come and form natural sand on our barrier island. Thank you for your time to speak.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here this morning that would like to speak at public comment? Yes, sir. Please state your name and where you're from.
My name is Adonis Osakri, and I'm from Nags Head. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Adonis, and I am the chairman of the Friends of the Outer Banks History Center. And I would like to invite you all to our grand reopening. That'll be on Tuesday, September 30 at 1 p.m. at the Manteo location at One Festival Park. It will be a celebration of the completion of its renovation and also its role in the preserving of the stories of Dare County and beyond. And we would love to have you be able to join us. Thank you.
Other public comment this morning? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Nice to be here. I don't know if very many of you saw the article in the Virginian Pilot about NC state teachers, how much they spend out of pocket. The average out of pocket for teachers in North Carolina is $1,632. That's like 2 paychecks. North Carolina is the second most expensive for educators. A teacher walks into her classroom at the beginning of the year and it's blank. So she makes it conducive to learning. Costs are even higher for schools with a large low-income population. One teacher that they talked about in this article was she asked for toothbrushes for her class. She wanted to set up a toothbrushing station because she found out one of her students was sharing a toothbrush with 5 members of their family. That's kind of gross. So she did that. North Carolina ranks 43rd in the county for average teacher pay. Since NC is without a budget, they operate based on the previous year, so many teachers will not get raises until they have a budget. My point here is North Carolina as a state needs to step up, big time. But my other point is I wanted to thank all of you for always doing what you need to do for the Board of Education here and the students. It's very, very important, and I appreciate every dollar that you spend. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
I see Ms. Lloyd and Mr. Bateman nodding their heads back there, 2 members of our Board of Education. So thanks, guys.
Other public comment this morning? Anyone else here? Any public comment in Buxton?
Yes, we have one speaker, Brett Arley.
Welcome this morning, Brett.
Morning, Commissioners. I just wanted to come in and say thank you guys for your support, your hard work and diligence post Hurricane Aaron. And it's very encouraging to feel, seen and heard and supported by the county in terms of providing dumpsters, the multiple visits that you guys made down here to see the damaged area in Buxton and walk the site with us, understand what is actually happening, because as you now know, pictures don't do justice to it. So wanted to say thanks on behalf of the Buxton Civic Association and the community. Your responsiveness and support is something that, I think in the recent times has felt more abundant than in the past. And so just wanted to say heartfelt thanks. It's super encouraging to know that as we go into the remainder of hurricane season and the continuing months of nor'easters and whatnot, that you guys are standing with us. So I would say Aaron was a stark reminder to the vulnerability of the island, specifically Buxton. There was ocean water that was pushed about 1,000 feet inland in that area. As you know, residents of Old White House Road and those communities lost power, water, cable and internet, all while dealing with limited cell service. So it does raise great concern for the near future as far as safety and communication and whatnot. I know that you guys are working hard to try and solidify, stabilizing that beach in that area in the coming year. And so just ask that you guys continue pursuing that and fighting for us to make sure that all those plans go through. That was about it from my civic association side. I just wanted to say thanks on behalf of the community for your support. Taking my hat off from the civic association, just speaking, as a resident here, the conversations that we shared when you guys walked the Buxton site with us, it wasn't a month ago that I sat here at the same podium and mentioned that, we were in a state of emergency, whether it was labeled that or not. And Aaron basically, called our bluff on that. It's pretty bad. So in terms of kind of some things that Ms. Carol Dillon shared there, there's tons of other options. I don't know all the connections that need to be made at the state or even a federal level to try and figure out some better long-term solutions. The plans that we do have for the growing rebuild and the nourishment next year are definitely gonna hopefully buy us some time, but there's a lot to be done. It's not just Buxton, Frisco to Hatteras stretch, Rodanthe. We have a lot of vulnerability, and there are lots of things that work amongst the world and amongst the country. Unfortunately, North Carolina kind of binds y'all's hands and our hands in those, but hopefully we can figure out a way to find some workarounds and come to terms so that we can protect ourselves for the years to come. So anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate your time. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Any other public comment in Buxton?
No further comment from Buxton.
With that, we close the public comment and we move on to item number 5 on our agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Before we do that, I fail to recognize a couple of folks in the audience. We had a lot of people sitting out there this morning, and I failed to recognize them sitting out there. It was a lot of folks, but we do have 2 of our representatives from the Board of Education here, and that's Lisa Lloyd. Lisa, thank you for being here, and Justin Bateman. Justin, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Bobby?
Item 5 on our agenda is a presentation from the Dare County Veterans Advisory Council for the Wreaths of Honor, and Lisa Lloyd and others are here for that.
Welcome this morning.
Morning. So my name is Justin O'Sullivan. I'm the chairman for the Veterans Advisory Council here in Dare County. And we wanted to speak to you about an upcoming project we're working on. We're hoping it's the inaugural.
Sorry, we have a presentation. There we go. Do we have a clicker? Right here. Okay.
All right, appreciate it.
Sorry.
Thank you. So it's the Wreaths of Honor program. What we're planning to do is lay wreaths on veterans' graves at over 400 of the graves here in Dare County at, I believe it's 7 different sites. Well, it's 5 cemeteries and then the 2.
Yeah, and then the 2.
So it's going from all the way in Southern Shores all the way down into Hatteras. We're working alongside the VFW Post 10950 Auxiliary in terms of fundraising for the event. So some of the locations we're planning to attend are the Southern Shores Cemetery. There's 67 veteran graves at this location. The Austin Cemetery, which is in Kitty Hawk, is 140 veteran graves. Hilltop in Colington is 22 veteran graves. Manio Cemetery, which is 150 veteran graves. The 73 veteran graves at the Memorial Gardens, also in Manio. Down in Buxton, there's 2 veteran graves, which is the Buxton British Cemetery. And then the 5 veteran graves located in Manio, outside of the aquarium. And in terms of what we're here today is we're looking to ask for some support, both in terms of getting the word out as well as financial support. The current, we've been fundraising all throughout the summer at the different the markets, at the Sound Side, at the First Flight Market. And currently we've raised most of our goal. We hit a slight snag because on December 6th is when we're planning on doing the event, is the same day as the Christmas parade in Manio. So currently we are $3,000 short of our goal. And what that is it would be removing Manio from the potential. However, it is one of the largest locations, so we do want to include that. And our plan currently is to do it the night before, which would not only allow us to present at the graves at there, as well as honor any of the fallen that we've had at the Manio location, but also would allow it to be decorated with the wreaths because they're going to be done up patriotic as well. That way, because it should be visible from the people in attendance of the Christmas parade. And we are also looking for volunteers in terms of just putting the word out for people to attend to help us with laying the actual wreaths. This will all be done with the exception of Manio on one given day throughout the locations in the county. We do have currently enough with the different women's club, different volunteers it's been very well supported in the community. But again, we're looking for any volunteers to help as well, because we appreciate anyone help, and it just makes the event even that more special.
To get our community involved.
Exactly. And then, as I said, this is the first time. We're hoping to continue raising funds to be able to do this as an annual thing throughout the county. Our goal currently, we selected these ones because they are the largest and they're the ones we've been able to work with directly of these cemetery locations. However, there are other cemeteries that have veteran graves, and we want to honor any of our veterans in the county. We're hoping that as we can continue this event, continue to grow, we'll be able to incorporate more and more until eventually, theoretically, we're including every veteran grave in the county. This is our website, info.darenc.gov/wreaths. The point of contact would be Patty O'Sullivan, the Veteran Service Officer for the county. And this is like a form to sign up to either contribute or as well as to the volunteering options as well on there. I believe that's the end of the slide. And then I also want to open for any questions for either myself, Patty, or Lisa, because Lisa's been our volunteer coordinator as a member of the community and the council as well.
I don't have any questions, but as a former veteran, for my fellow veterans out there, the least we can do is honor them. You said you were short $3,000?
Right.
I'd like to make a motion by this board that we provide that $3,000 for these veterans' wreaths on these graves.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's a motion on the floor by myself. It's been seconded by the vice chairman. The floor is open for further discussion.
I'd just like to say one thing. I'm a huge history guy, and I love all the old speeches, and both of my grandfathers were military as well. In a world where there is no heroes, people just don't know where to look. Row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses in Arlington National Cemetery. There is fields and cemeteries full of American heroes all across this nation, and they deserve our admiration and respect. And I'm so incredibly thankful for all of you on the Veteran Advisory Council for doing this, and I will be helping you. And thank you for Bob for your service as well. And I know what this means to you, and let's go ahead and vote on this deal.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? Those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
And I will let you know that Cheryl and myself both will be signing up to help. Both of us come from a military family, and we honor those. Thank you.
Thank you. We are all, please sign up and help.
Next is a proclamation for Constitution Week 2025. And is there a representative here from the local Daughters of the American Revolution chapter? Come.
Yes, ma'am, we have it.
Yeah. Since you guys have usually read it, I didn't bring a copy of it with me.
Would you like me to read it?
Yeah, if you would, please. Since I didn't bring a copy.
This is a Constitution Week proclamation. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law. And whereas September 17th, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion. And whereas it is the privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate the 237th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America with appropriate ceremonies and activities. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, the Dare County Commissioners does hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through 23 as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens of Dare County to study the Constitution and reflect on the privileges of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. In witness whereof, I've set my hand and seal this third day of September 2025.
Thank you.
All right.
We'd
Pleasure
like-
of the board. Oh, excuse me. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, we would like to thank you all for supporting Constitution Week and making the declaration. And anybody who wants to go and learn more about the Constitution, there is a display at the Kill Devil Hills Library about the Constitution and some handouts. And I will leave these little bookmarks over by the door. So if anybody wants one, it's information about the Constitution, and it has a QR code this year, guys. So thank you, everybody, and remember the Constitution.
Thank you. Pleasure of the board.
Motion to adopt.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor by the vice chair. Is there a second? I'll second. Seconded by Commissioner Creef. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Chairman, on item 7 on our agenda, Sarah Sampson and Carla Heapert are here to bring a proclamation for September 2025 as Smart Start Month and Diaper Need Awareness Week.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. How are you? Let's see. We have a presentation that we hope to show. Do we need to do anything to get the presentation started? Okay, here we go. Thank you. I'm Sarah Sampson, the Executive Director of Children and Youth Partnership, and I'm here with Carla Heppert. I'm excited to share that North Carolina has officially proclaimed September as Smart Start Month, a celebration of the work being done across our state to ensure young children and families have the support that they need to thrive. We at Children and Youth Partnership, we are one of 75 local Smart Start partnerships serving all 100 counties in North Carolina. Together with the North Carolina Partnership for Children, we focus on 3 key areas: early care and education. We partner with child care providers to improve the quality of early learning so children enter school ready to succeed. Family support. We offer a variety of parenting programs and resources like the P Positive Parenting Program, Explore to Learn playgroups, Baby Links, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Child and family health. We link families with services and resources that support their physical, emotional, and mental well-being. This month is an opportunity to celebrate all the people who make this work possible, including early childhood professionals, families, and community partners. Smart Start Month is more than a proclamation. It's a reminder that investing in young children strengthens families, builds resiliency, and our entire community benefits. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Carla, who will share more about CYP's Diaper Bank. And after that, we ask you to join us in celebrating by proclaiming September as Smart Start Month in Dare County and September 15th through the 21st as Diaper Need Awareness Week. And with your support, we continue to raise awareness about the importance of early childhood and build a community where every child has an opportunity to thrive.
You disappeared up there. Good morning, Commissioners. As she said, my name is Carla Heppert, and I'm here to talk with you all about CYP's Diaper Bank and Diaper Need Awareness Week. So imagine with me for a moment having a newborn at home. You had some diapers that were given to you for your baby shower, but your baby's already run through all those diapers, and you need some more. You haven't gone back to work yet, so your finances are really tight, and you still need diapers for your baby. Or maybe your baby's a little older, you've gone back to work, but your hours were cut that week, and bills are all due at the same time. You still need diapers for your baby. What are you gonna do? So I brought a few visual aids with me this morning just so you could see. This is a pack of newborn diapers. They look tiny, I know. So this pack right here is actually on the lower end of the cost spectrum. This pack is $6. But this pack in different brands and purchased from different stores can cost anywhere from $6 to $12 for families. So this pack of diapers has 34 diapers in the pack. You think, oh, 34 diapers, that's a lot of diapers. This might last 3 days, maybe, if you're lucky for a newborn baby. So they go through them really quickly. And the bigger the child gets, the larger the diaper gets, but the smaller the pack gets. And the price stays the same. So pack of size 5s, only 24 in there, but that's the same price as 34 of your newborn diapers. A recent study done by the National Diaper Bank Network has shown that 1 in 2 families struggle with diaper need in America. That's half of American families with babies that are in diapers. And while programs like WIC and SNAP, which is formerly food stamps, are incredible supports for families, they don't allow for the purchase of diapers by families. And that's where CYP's Diaper Bank comes in. So we provide a contactless diaper pickup on the second Tuesday and Wednesday of every month for families in need of diapers. They can come and pick up between sizes newborn to size 6, and they can pick up 2 packs for their family for that month. From July of 2024 to June of 2025, we held 12 diaper pickup events in Manio at our contactless diaper pickups. We held 2 at the Fessden Annex in Buxton as a part of their community health fair, and we held 1 in collaboration with the Community Care Clinic as a part of their food distribution. The average number of families we served was 132, but we had a high of 161 one of those months, and there were several others that were in the 150s. So during just our diaper pickup events, we distributed over 3,600 packs of diapers to families in need in Dare County. We recently asked our families for a little bit of feedback about CYP's Diaper Bank and what it's helping them to do. So this is a little bit of what you're seeing on your screen. 44% of families that responded had 2 children that were in diapers. So imagine buying a pack of diapers, whether it's $6 or $10, double that for 2 children in diapers. Responding to the statement, receiving diapers for my child allows me to, 69% said it reduced stress, 31% said it allowed them to buy food for their families, 44% said it allowed them to pay a bill. So you can see that it's making a huge impact. But none of that would be possible without the incredible support of our community. CYP's Diaper Bank is a community-funded program. So through the donation of diapers, through the donation of funds to support the purchase of diapers, we're able to distribute those diapers each month. Last year, you all recognized the important work that CYP's Diaper Bank is doing in our community and provided the support in the form of $15,000 to support families with children in diapers. That incredible support equated to 75,000 diapers we were able to distribute in our community to Dare County families. That's 75,000 changes for the better, that we like to call it. The impact that you made is immeasurable, and by helping to provide diapers, you gave families dignity, you gave them relief, and the ability to care for their babies without that added stress. And we at CYP cannot thank you enough for that. So as I mentioned before, Diaper Need Awareness Week is fast approaching. It's on September 15th through the 21st. During that week, we'll have several diaper drop-off locations throughout our community that anybody in the community can drop off diapers to if they'd like to support CYP's Diaper Bank. Some of those are listed here. It includes all 3 branches of the Dare County Library, the Outer Banks Community Foundation, First Bank in Kill Devil Hills, the Outer Banks Family YMCA, our CYP office in Manio, and not listed here, but we're excited to add Outer Banks Health. Their entrance to their main lobby and their medical office building will also have drop-off points for diapers if anyone is interested in supporting it. And as we recognize and bring awareness to diaper need in our community, we appreciate your willingness to proclaim the week of September 15th through the 21st as Diaper Need Awareness Week in Dare County, and the month of September as Smart Start Month in Dare County. And we welcome any questions that you may have.
I believe we have a proclamation. Would you read that, County Manager?
Which one would you like to start with, the diaper or the Smart Start? There's 2.
The diaper.
Okay. Whereas diaper need, the condition of not having a sufficient supply of clean diapers to keep babies and toddlers clean, dry, and healthy, can adversely affect the health and well-being of babies, toddlers, and their families. And whereas the latest study from the National Diaper Bank Network reports that 1 in 2 families struggles with diaper need, an increase from previous studies done in 2010 and 17. And whereas purchasing enough diapers to keep a baby toddler clean, dry, and healthy can consume 14% of a low-wage family's post-tax income, making it difficult to obtain a sufficient supply. And whereas a daily or weekly supply of diapers is generally an eligibility requirement for babies and toddlers to participate in child care programs and quality early education programs. And whereas without enough diapers, babies and toddlers risk infections and health problems that may require medical attention and may prevent parents from attending work or school, thereby hurting the family's economic prospects and well-being. And whereas the Dare County community recognizes that diaper need is a public health issue, and addressing diaper need can lead to economic opportunity for our families and community and improved health for our children, thus ensuring all children and families have access to the basic necessities required to thrive and reach their full potential. And whereas Dare County is proud to be home to trusted community-based organizations, including the Children and Youth Partnership for Dare County, that recognize the importance of diapers in ensuring health and providing economic stability for families, and thus distribute diapers to families through various channels. We, the Dare County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the week of September 15th through 21st as Diaper Need Awareness Week in Dare County. We thank the Children and Youth Partnership, their staff, and donors for their service through CYP's Diaper Bank, and encourage the citizens of our community to support CYP's Diaper Bank to help ensure that all Dare County children and families have what they need to thrive. This is the third day of September 2025.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion approved by Commissioner Balance. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Burris. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Then your second resolution or proclamation is the Smart Start Month proclamation for September of 2025. Whereas the nationally recognized Smart Start Network has worked to ensure all young children enter school healthy and prepared for success throughout North Carolina for over 30 years. And whereas the first 5 years of life are a critical window of development, shaping a child's brain architecture and building the foundation for future cognitive, social, emotional, behavior, and health outcomes. And whereas high-quality birth to 5 strategies and programs focus on early education, health, and well-being, and family support to create better K-12 and post-secondary educational opportunities for students and a more skilled workforce for employees. Whereas the Smart Start Network supports quality early care and education, preventive health services, and family support for children from birth to 5 years old, and has a proven track record in improving early childhood education, promoting healthy births, preventing child abuse and neglect, and enhancing family support systems. And whereas the Smart Start Network serves all 100 counties through 75 local partnerships, including the Children and Youth Partnership for Dare County, that incorporate community voices and needs in program design and delivery, and to ensure each community receives the support it deserves. And whereas Smart Start's local partnerships coordinate services, raise awareness, and create collective impact across North Carolina for children and families, generating systemic changes to ensure the comprehensive well-being of our state's youngest citizens. And whereas the Smart Start Network is committed to promoting equity through ensuring all children, especially those historically denied access, can benefit from the resources and opportunities they need to succeed. And whereas addressing adverse childhood experiences and fostering childhood resiliency are crucial for developing healthy, adaptive, and successful individuals, and Smart Start plays a key role in those efforts. And whereas the Smart Start Network recognizes and supports early childhood teachers and providers as the essential workforce behind the workforce, and the important role they play in helping children and families thrive and in enhancing North Carolina's economy. And whereas the Smart Start Network helps to provide critical infrastructure for the early childhood system through collaboration and partnerships with state and federal agencies and other nonprofits, bridging service gaps, and providing needed administration to statewide programs. And whereas investing in high-quality early childhood initiatives like Smart Start can yield substantial long-term benefits for children, families, and society through increased educational attainment, higher earnings, reduced crime, and better health outcomes. We, the Dare County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2025 as Smart Start Month in Dare County and call upon all citizens to celebrate and acknowledge the essential role Smart Start plays in building thriving communities across our state. This is the third day of September 2025.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by the Vice Chairman has been seconded by Commissioner Bateman. Any further discussions? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Ladies, thank you all this morning. This is a critical need in our community, and I personally think our board should continue our support for you. And I'd ask our board if they'd be willing to match what they gave them last year.
Mr. Chairman, I support and I would second the motion from Commissioner Bateman. I am reminded of the words from one of our presidents, of Ronald Reagan. Diapers and politicians need to be changed, usually for the same reason.
Hello. I won't touch that one. Is there a motion?
I presume President Company is excluded.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
just wanted to clarify for the
so.
public.
Two Reagan quotes in one meeting.
So there's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Bateman, correct?
Yes.
To approve, I believe it was 15,000 we did last year, and it's been seconded by the Vice Chair. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, ladies.
And thank you. We appreciate your continued support and of all the families in our community. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Next, Lee Nettles is here on behalf of the Dare County Tourism Board to request consent expenditure from the long-term restricted fund line item 4525.
Good morning, Lee. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners. Good to see you. We're really pleased to come before you today to give you an update on the Soundside Boardwalk in Nags Head and ask for your continued support of the project. It's been a long time coming between the conceptual design, the real design, the permitting process, working with CAMA, getting variances on it, and then going through the bid process. It's taken several years, but we do believe that it's going to be well worth it. This project is going to provide sound access and a range of different uses for the public. It's going to provide interpretive educational items out there so folks will know and have a greater appreciation for what they're looking at and what they're interacting with. Everything from crabbing to kiteboarding. We've met with different user groups to make sure that all those uses are preserved and enhanced by the boardwalk. We feel like it's going to be an immediate Outer Banks icon, and we can't wait for folks to get out there and enjoy it. At the August 28th meeting, the Dare County Tourism Board unanimously approved awarding a contract to Millstone Marine Construction for the amount of $3,339,235. This includes 3,000 linear feet in boardwalk, 3 platforms, a pergola, a gazebo, boat slips. It's really going to be something. Subject to your consent on that expenditure, we would begin construction, start working with the company immediately, and hope to have it wrapped up by spring.
Cool. Any
Spring next year?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, that's
So all the planning and all the permitting and everything took several years, but the construction is actually going to move pretty quickly, we hope.
right. Just out of curiosity, Lee, how many boat slips are you going to be able to have?
I think there's 7 slips.
Got it.
Let's go to that map. You guys included the map. Maybe you could walk us through that, Lee.
Sure. Yeah. So we, I mean, obviously it's a significant project. So we bid it as a main portion, which was the gold boardwalk. That base bid was around 1.9. And then we did a blue sound side walkover, the sound access. and the green's concrete walkway that kind of connects the southern part of the boardwalk. In pink is a significant portion of the walkway and the pergola I mentioned. And then the north side concrete walkway is shown in bright yellow. Then the walkway to the boat slips that we were just talking about in orange there. So altogether, that portion of the bid came to 2.5. We had an opportunity with the main gazebo that's out over the water to upgrade that the production on it and go with a timber product that John DeLucia can speak to much better than I can. But given what this is, and I think kind of its longevity and just its importance, really.
Where's that on the map, Lee? This that you're talking?
Sure, it's that yellow round item that's kind of sticking out in the sound the furthest off of that main curve.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that was a bid at $400,000, and then we added a contingency in just for overages. But as you know, everything's paid on an invoice basis, and we would hope to not need that, but we didn't want to have to go back to the board and come back around. So
we're watching you. So, I mean, it looks like a very ambitious project, Lee, and I was looking at the map. How will it be used? I mean, I drive by the event center every day, or event site, and virtually every day it is deserted. So we'll put in the 3.3 million walkway and connections. Is it going to remain deserted, in your opinion? Why will someone come and pull in the parking lot and know that there's this extensive walkway and so forth?
It's, well, depending on the time of day, if you go by at sunsets, there's almost always cars out there enjoying the sunset, and we expect this is going to be one of the prime viewing areas for that. We had the Soundside Market Series through the summer, which was really successful. Had the last one of those over the Labor Day weekend, the biggest that they had during the whole series. We're getting into event season, September, October, going to be hard and heavy with events. We feel like the boardwalk is a nice complement to that. I mean, it's going to be a source for education, for exercise, really. I think it's going to be about half a mile in length, and it ties into the other sidewalks that Nags Head is constructed out on the bypass. There's discussions with the town to continue the boardwalk project further around the sound, so just enhancing that. But we think it's a real amenity. You'll have access to the water. People are already sailing and kiteboarding off of there. We want to enhance those uses. That's that little walkway on the far left of the design is for that purpose. You'll be able to get down to the water off of that main gazebo. We'll have kayak launches, the boat slips that we talked about, crabbing. So it's one of those things that people are going to see it coming together. They're going to be curious. They're going to get out there, and once they do, it's going to be a real attraction and amenity for the Outer Banks, we believe.
Okay.
And just like the boardwalk at in the town of Duck, during the summer, that place is packed.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. There's no way to walk from one end to the other without running into 2 or 3 other people just because it's so crowded. So it's a good thing to see in Duck. And I think that this would probably be the same at the event site. I'd make the motion to approve it.
All right, there's a motion on the floor by a vice chair to approve, and it's been seconded by Commissioner Bateman. The floor is open for further discussion.
Commissioner Balance was just asking the question. The source of the funds that will be used to construct this is?
It's out of the long-term restricted funds. So 25% of the tourism board's budget is for a restricted fund, and by law, we need to request the consent of the DARE commissioners before expending those funds.
Right, so it's technically not county funding, it's funding specifically already at the board, the tourism board.
Yep, it's from visitor spending, the 1% occupancy tax, 1% prepared meals.
Thank you.
Sure.
Rob, there's been talks going on and on and on over the last 10 years about having that continue clear on around to behind my restaurant, same path, across the fish farm. There's a working plan out there somewhere. I don't know where Nagsett is with it at this juncture, but this can be bigger than Duck.
That's kind of where I was thinking, Herb, because we had dinner at your place the other night, and it's a great place to be right on the sound and the water, and I'm looking at this diagram, and that thought crossed my mind, so I hope that
I've already given them an easement for my property to put one there and extend them to mine. They own the fish farm now, so a lot of the property is already there, and this is the catalyst. When people see what this has done, hopefully other individuals, independent property owners, as well as the state and as well as Nagsett will come together and say, let's do this thing.
How far out are those boat slips going to go? On the, it looks like the north side of the event center is, I'm looking at the map, highlighted in blue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming those are the boat slips?
There's an existing portion of the boardwalk right now that if you go down by the old mini golf, so there's some slips down there, and we were just going to add a couple to it.
Okay.
I mean, the water's shallow out there, of course.
I know.
But
that's what I was saying. There's not really a channel out there, so by putting boat slips there, I mean, there's certain boats that can make it.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is a tourism attraction, obviously tourists have not navigated our sounds generally as much as the fishermen here. So there needs to be some kind of at least awareness of how shallow it is over there, because I don't want to have sea tow and marine fisheries out there every day trying to haul somebody's 35-foot boat they tried to bring in there off the shoal. And a lot of people commercial fish all around there still and currently, and people need to be aware of nets and other things that'll be in that general area. So if we can put some signs out or something, that'd be great.
That's a great suggestion. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you very much.
Chairman, item 9 on the agenda is a Colington zoning map amendment, and Noah, if you come up and present that before we have the public hearing.
Good morning, Noah.
Morning again. Before you is a map amendment requesting to rezone 7 parcels on the Colington zoning map. The 7 parcels are located along Lover's Lane, which is a residential subdivision accessed off of Schoolhouse Road there behind the fire department. 6 of the parcels are owned by the applicant. 1 of the parcels is owned by the Colington Volunteer Fire Department. The Colington Volunteer Fire Department has consented to the rezoning of their property. The applicants are seeking to go from R1 low-density residential to R2B alternative medium-density residential. The surrounding properties are a mix of R1 and R2B. R2B is found along the west property and the eastern property boundaries. The R1 is found to the south. That is a large 8-acre parcel owned by the Cliffs of Colington, which is just a common area. It's majority wetlands, no development in that area. The applicants, again, like I stated, own 10 of the 12 lots in this subdivision. The rezoning to the R2B would afford them a greater flexibility and single-family housing options on the property. The planning department reviewed this at their August meeting and recommended favorable action and found it consistent with the policies of the Dare County Land Use Plan.
Any questions of Noah?
With that, Mr. Chairman, we'll conduct the public hearing and then we'll allow the applicant to speak if they choose. Okay.
Okay.
Is there I don't have anybody signed up. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to that issue? Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. You state your name.
John Frederick, Kitty Hawk. I just want to say I'm here in favor of the rezoning. I've worked with the Swansons for many years, and anything that they do is going to be class act. I think it's going to be very beneficial to the area.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else like to speak at the public hearing? Anyone from Buxton like to speak?
No comment from Buxton.
That, Mr. Chairman, we close the public hearing. And before you go, the chief is here. Would you come up and just for the record, acknowledge your consent to the rezoning?
Morning, Chief Rainey.
Good morning. On behalf of the Board of Directors, we would offer our consent and their support to the zoning request.
All right, thank you, Chief. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman Woodard, Commissioners. I'm Ben Gallup, lawyer here in Dare County. I'm here representing the Swensons and Colington Glen. Mr. Gillum explained it pretty well. Mr. Nick Swenson and his mother, Christina Swenson, are the principals in Colington Glen, and we're here if you have any questions. But otherwise, we appreciate your time, and I'd also congratulate Mr. Gillum on his 10-year PIN. He's been very helpful in this process for my clients and me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, the public hearing closes with the board.
All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
I just got a question. So
Yes, sir.
you're trying to change it from R1 to R2B, correctly? Medium density now? Okay. What can you currently not develop on your property in the current zoning that you're trying to do, I guess? Why are we doing this?
So the
That's my question.
The R1's restricted to single-family residential only. You can't have a duplex, you couldn't have a mobile home.
Gotcha.
There's no other option other than that single-family house and then the accessory dwelling unit that could be associated with that. The rezoning to the R2B would allow, again, the flexibility. You could have a duplex, you could have a residential group development, which would allow more than one principal single-family structure on the property. Again, the greater flexibility outside of just being able to have one single-family structure on the property.
I got you. Is that what your clients are trying to do, is build duplexes or something along that lines of that nature?
At this point, I don't think they're completely sure of what they want to do, but they wanted the more flexibility. It may go more toward a group development, it may go toward duplexes, but what they looked at was that the restrictions in the R1 and the single family weren't going to work out for them from a development perspective, so they wanted to be able to put some higher density development than single family, consistent with the properties that are around it, particularly to the, see if I get my directions correct, but to the west, I believe, the properties that back up over there, and then to the east and down below that, those properties are developed differently and have a lot more flexible developments than what they have currently available to them.
Okay.
Noah, was the other adjacent property owners notified of this hearing?
Yes, for the planning board and the board of commissioners hearing, there was mailed notices to all the property owners. It was posted on our webpage, the property was posted, and it was also in the newspaper.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm reading land use policy number 7, diversification of opportunities in housing to address the housing needs of Dare County's year-round population is supported. Multifamily dwellings, other types of residential structures such as auxiliary or accessory dwellings are appropriate alternatives. It seems to be the definition of what we're doing here.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none, what's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor by the vice chairman to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
It's seconded by Commissioner Balance. Floor is open for additional comments. Hearing none, those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Chairman, item 10 on the agenda. Each year we request funding. It's called the 5310 Operations Grant, and the funds are used to provide transportation for our seniors and our individuals with disabilities. The 5311 Community Transportation Grant reimburses the administrative portion of those. There is normally about a $75,000, almost $76,000 match that we match. Is that correct, Spencer? and the rest of the grants used then to pay for those costs. Again, this is something we do each year, but we have to have a public hearing and you have to approve it. So before you act, I'm going to call for the public hearing, and then if you have questions and any other discussion, then we can get Spencer up here and answer those questions. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this issue this morning? I see no hands here. Is anyone in Buxton like to speak to this issue?
No comment from Buxton.
That we would close the public hearing. This is before you. All the information was in your packet. If you have questions, I'll be glad to answer them, or I'll get Spencer to answer them, and it's for you for your approval.
I just had a quick one clarifying, Bobby, for my own education. This request required a public hearing. I wasn't really sure why. I was wondering if...
Because the statute says if you're going to get this grant, you got to have a public hearing. I don't know why they have that
the
in
old
there.
because we said so. I got you.
It's just a roll of red tape they want to throw out.
Yeah, I missed
Yep.
it, guys.
Yep, no problem.
It's the bureaucracy that government is famous for.
That's right.
That diaper thing.
I love government. I love it. Thank you. Sorry.
I was just checking to see if you were
Yes,
finished.
sir, that's it.
Yeah,
All right.
motion to approve.
All right, is that a motion on your part, Commissioner Ross?
It is.
All right, it's a motion to approve by Commissioner Ross. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Balance. Floor is open for further discussion. Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Chairman, that brings us to item 11 on the agenda. This is the Dare County Parks and Recreation Recommendations Plan. And Spencer and McGill, if you all come up for that, please.
This is the meat of the, there we go.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Spencer. How you doing?
Good. I'm pleased to welcome back McGill Associates. They're here to present the Dare County Parks and Recreation Recommendation Plan based on the needs assessment that was completed recently. Here from McGill are Mike Norris, Director of Land Planning and Recreation for McGill, and Jim Ford, Park Planner.
Welcome back, gentlemen.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. If you recall, we were here earlier this year to present the needs assessment for the Parks and Recreation Department. And today we are here to, as a sequel, if you will, to present the recommendations for this plan to get comments and hopefully consideration of adoption. I'm Mike Norris with McGill, and Jim Ford here will also, there's Jim behind me. So we're going to go through this hopefully quickly and reserve hopefully some time for...
Don't go too quickly. Let's make sure we go through this.
We'll have some time for question and answer because I'm sure you'll have some. We're going to recap on what we learned from the needs assessment, a little bit of catch up, looking at the level of investment as well. We want to talk about the factors of the recommendations and how that came to be for what we're proposing. What are the immediate needs? What are the mid-range as well as long-term needs, as well as what are the legacy needs that will be presented? I advanced too quick. We had this in the previous slide, and it just gives a perspective in how we view our recreation within our communities. Do we see it as an expense or as an investment or somewhere there in between? We do recognize that. And then with that, we also see that there is the when we do invest in our parks, what that means to a community. It's typically with Dare County, we've seen a lot of people influx moving to Dare County. A lot of that is our recreation, what we provide as far as quality of life. Businesses look at recreation as far as relocating a business to where they want to be, as well as bringing in employees. And with this plan, not every project can be funded with a grant or some type of investment there, but there are a lot of opportunities for funding, whether it's DOT, whether it's the State Parks and Recreation Trust Fund or federal grants that are available. One of our goals of this overall plan with the needs assessment coupled with the recommendations plan is to have that adopted, which will help leverage funding for many of these grants that we're going to, we can go over if we need to after this review. Jim,
Yeah, so what we're basically trying to say is that first needs assessment plan, fantastic way to collect data. What do you do with that data? It leads to the second half of the plan, recommendations. What were some of the things we looked at? Everything from what did people say, what were the benchmarking, we do an inventory and compare you for your size of what you should be expected to provide. And with all that data, we attempt to do our best job at making recommendations, which we're going to cover later here. Excellent. So what are you looking up there is a hard-to-read chart, but what it attempts to do is compare both the inventory, what do we have, what's below and above benchmark, meaning do we have enough of something, do we need more of, and then it compares that to your community interest. Now, you did a survey, and that gave us the ability to gauge what was important to people, what wasn't important to people, and that's always a crystal ball, so to speak, but it's the only way to gather public comment, right? When you do compare that, though, you'll find in this gradient, things in that upper right-hand corner represent those that are both of high interest, things the public really wanted to see, with things that were below benchmark, meaning, yeah, we have a lot of people asking for these things. Do we have enough to provide service to meet that demand? Down to that bottom left where we have these things, but interest was fairly low. Why do we do this? Well, we also wanted to pair the 3 different areas we studied within the county. The needs are different in each of those areas slightly. And what this chart attempts to do is show you where those needs were high, where they were low, and where you had inventories to meet. Now, I've attempted to abbreviate what those areas are. If anybody has any questions, let me know. But overall, indoor facilities always rank high. You've done an excellent job. You've got dance, you've got gymnastics. There's a number of things you're doing really well that have grown and are going to continue to grow. And how do we meet that need? The need for indoor programming is extremely important in this county, more so than others, I'd say. But there are other needs too. Ranking high in that survey was the aquatics. Can't tell you how many times I heard about that. That's a very expensive thing to do, and we are surrounded by water after all. So how do we judge in the recommendations what's important? Fortunately, I know you're going to make good decisions. What the recommendations plan has done is collected all the data to allow you to make those future decisions.
Yeah, just quickly, you reference splash pads several times.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Then you reference the need for aquatics.
That's right.
I'm looking for a little bit more specifics. Aquatics is a swimming pool and a splash pad is?
That's right. It's sort of a mixed bag. Depends on where you go. I think some people would say, heck, we're surrounded by ocean. That's aquatics, right? Not necessarily. Aquatics means a lot of things. Look at your high school swim teams. Look at your YMCA. That does an excellent job providing pool for recreational use. Then you've got those people that have young children that might need something a little more safe. You have to look at aquatics from the point of view of water in general. Now, why are we mentioning splash pads? Well, people love splash pads. If you've ever been to a splash pad, you'll usually see when the weather's nice.
I've never been to a splash pad. What is it?
A splash pad is just that, a pad with water that splashes.
Is that similar to what Kildover Hills has?
It is.
Yeah, spray ground.
You've seen
Another phrase is spray ground.
I got a question about the last slide.
I'm still trying to get there, guys, before we move on.
Sure, let's define.
It's a concrete pad with a sprinkler jet in the middle of it or something?
In the most basic definition, you are correct, but they can be Cadillacs to Pintos.
They have multiple water features for,
Yeah.
I've got little kids and like if my kids live in Wilmington, they have splash pads everywhere and they go, splash pads maybe as big as this room and they have waters and showers and buckets that dump and all kinds of stuff and the little kids run around and get wet.
I see. Okay, thank you.
For the same reason pools used to keep us cool in the summer, now there's a lot of other ways to do that. Splash pads are a little bit lower impact way to do that, delivering water recreation to our children and families and folks that want to stay cool in the summer.
So according to this slide on y'all's input, just for a statement reference here, you say we have a above benchmark high supply of pickleball courts in Dare County?
Actually, it's a little bit
On
different.
Harriot.
Yeah. So at one time, you were planning on building a number of pickleball courts. Why? Because everybody talks about pickleball and we're pressured to do so. However, that demand still exists.
I'm fully aware of that.
Excuse me.
Right? I think right now, without that project, you meet what is typical benchmark. Now, does that address our tourism? We don't know. Tourists nowadays, we're seeing a trend where they're asking for more.
Above benchmark.
That's right. Any other questions on that?
Specifically Manny.
Okay, moving forward.
So let's talk about the key factors with these recommendations. What are the key elements that drove for our recommendations? Several things here. Number one is land, lack of land. Land is obviously very valuable. It's limited where we think land may be appropriate. There's environmental restrictions that may limit development for that. So that's going to be part of the recommendations and factors. You have one of the most active communities recreation-wise we've seen. People of all ages are wanting more. So the demand's there. So how do we do that? How do we accomplish that with what we have? Indoor facilities obviously are limited with the space. They're being maximized. So we have to consider what do we do with what we have and what are the options in providing additional indoor recreation space. We continue to grow, adding pressure to what we already have.
I just wanted to comment on that. Yes, sir. I don't dispute that we've had quite a surge in the most recent assessed values of properties in Dare County, but I did not see full-time residential population growth of any real significance. We've been around 37,000 for a long time. So I struggled with the opening sentence there.
I guess what I'm saying is growth in demand for recreation. More folks are participating with recreation. We talked about pickleball, indoor programming, a variety of trails. There's more growth in recreation with the number of users that we have.
Growth in use, okay.
So again, there was a Oakley Collier report, a feasibility study performed a couple years ago. That was also used as a basis. But one of the things that we want to make sure that we focus on is how can we expand with the limited land availability in order to create something that's feasible and attainable. Let me just slide or jump around. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, no worries. So Mike's not wrong. We're living longer. We're playing longer. That recreational demand has increased. It's not wrong to assume you have limited land availability as well. It's a beautiful place. Everybody wants to be here, and we compete for the little bit of land there is. So where does recreation fall within that? That gets us to these immediate needs. You've got fields now that serve people well. You have the need to increase the number of fields provided to meet that existing demand. There are two ways to do that. Buy more land and build more fields, or figure out how to get double use out of what you currently have. That first column there, that first row, synthetic field on athletic turfs, is an attempt to get more use out of what you have already invested in. Why? Obviously, land is difficult to come up with. A stopgap measure. We talked about how we're going to expand. Well, you've outgrown a lot of your indoor spaces. There is a need for additional indoor spaces, but you do have them. What I found through this study is they've been well loved. Go ahead.
Before we leave the synthetic turf.
Yes, sir.
I was curious, how many fields were included in the $4 million price tag?
From what I remember, when we had priced turf in the past, one soccer field was about $1.5 to $2 million. So that would be about two soccer fields or two football fields for $4 million.
Okay.
That's right. And it may seem like a small thing, but it'll go a long way to increase the
Also, with a question with the synthetic turf, I install synthetic turf. Okay. One of the things is also that I want people to be made aware of the increase in injuries of a natural field as opposed to an artificial turf field. The artificial turf field does increase injuries substantially. How is that going to offset?
I don't think injuries was something that we studied a whole lot of, but you're not wrong. It's a different sort of play surface, but you've recently learned.
Well, I'm not going to dispute the injuries. We do see a lot of local recreation departments across the state. It's you've seen it as well. There, I would say you probably may see more injuries in adults versus youth participation, perhaps. So it's commonly used with youth recreation just because of the wear and tear. You have soccer, football, what have you, events that are occurring daily, and the wear and tear on your fields. And not only that, but it allows you to extend your playing season, shoulder seasons when a field may be dormant. It does provide that, but it is one of the things that is just due primarily to land availability. We felt like if there was synthetic turf, it would allow for more use on your fields and also extend beyond the typical play season. Should you want to have any kind of tournament during the off season, it may offer opportunities as well as for economic development through sports tourism.
Go back to that last slide. No, go forward. You calling this mid-range and long-range needs, and you have number 5, pickleball outdoor. And in your comment there, you say pickleball is within the benchmark levels. Why then is this a mid-range and long-range need when it's within the benchmark levels that we have here in Dare County? I don't understand what you're trying to tell me.
I would remember that this is an increasing need, and across the state, we're seeing the needs grow almost exponentially in some communities. You're not going to hear the last of pickleball.
Well, if you look at our study, Dare County is one of the highest in the entire 100 counties of the state.
And if you look at our pickleball fields, they're not very often used.
Right. And I've been there, seen them. I'm there daily. So that I have difficulty understanding why that's a mid-range and long-range need. I'm really struggling with that one.
It's back to this chart as well. Sure. On the same point where it's dedicated pickleball has it in Sector B and Hatteras Island as high community interest and at benchmark or medium supply.
That makes it a mid or long as opposed to a short or immediate. I think you're meeting that need now. I think you need to prepare for increasing needs in the future, mid and long term. I think pickleball also can be used indoors, dual stripes with your basketball. That can alleviate some of the needs for those dedicated courts. Those are the ones that your tourists are most likely to want to demand in the future.
We provide that now.
You do. You are at that benchmark.
We provide that now.
You're doing a good job of that now.
This plan is to give us a guide for direction. Should, as we see any kind of activity or sport increase in demand, you can table something, an item there, or if the demand continues to grow in a particular element or activity, we just want to put that precursor out there that there may be demand based on the way the growth has continued with pickleball. Down the road, there may be that need. We don't want to be 10 years out and say, well, we didn't recognize that. So this plan kind of gives an element of pre-planning for what may happen. It may not, and we may continue to meet that cross-section of demand for that.
Okay.
Excellent. Can you go back to immediate needs? Let me see. Can I go back here? Are y'all ready to move on to the third?
Are you defining, we have a printout. Ours says critical needs. Yours says immediate needs. Are you saying they're one and the same?
Yes, I presume that's true.
That's correct.
That's what this right here has.
That's
It's called critical.
Yep.
Your presentation's showing it immediate. I need to know if that's.
I would say they're one and the same.
Yes.
I'd say things that are critical are also immediate needs. And remember, those needs are based off requests from the people in the survey.
Okay.
You have to make the judgment call as to whether it's worth doing or not. But I think that it's important to remember we've heard this, and we have to include that in the plan because people told us that. Splash pads, we mentioned that earlier. However, I see that as more of a stopgap. The request for aquatics is real. People did request that, but as we know, that is a huge expense. It is somewhat limiting. Splash pads, however, are more affordable. They do offer recreation that is aquatic. and could meet a lot of that need in the future, in the short term anyway.
They're the becoming thing. I've
agree.
been to multiple locations in the last 6 months. Winchester, Virginia, Newbern, North Carolina.
Good one there.
Just multiple places throughout the state, and I see more and more of those. And
They are a growing trend, and when we talk about aquatic needs, that's one of the elements that compared to an indoor facility or any kind of aquatic swimming pool, it's much more cost-effective to meet a need for the splash pad. And quite frankly, you have a lot of younger kids that can participate in a splash pad where they may not be swimming at that age.
how is that? What do they use water-wise? Is that recycled stuff?
In most cases, it is a recycled system, very similar to your regulated swimming pool. You still have your chemicals
So
that you
still
need.
have
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And then there's another system that's a flow-through system, and that uses a lot more water because you're not recycling that. But most communities are doing the recycled systems.
Could we take just a moment on item 2, the lighting security?
Lighting and security, well.
Or item 6, I guess,
You mean 6?
mid-range 6, yes, sorry.
You are over on this other, let's go. there.
Did I
Got that
jump a
up.
slide?
It's okay. That's okay. Lighting and security is extremely important. I think that extending hours is a part of meeting that need. You know, when it gets dark, it's hard to play. And if you've got teams that have yet to play, you have to program them for another day. Heaven forbid there had been a rain day if that field was not even playable. But lighting is about extending, the same way the artificial turf is, your use of existing fields. Not only is security important, but duration of play on fields is important as well.
The slides keep moving back and
Yeah,
forth.
Yeah,
It's
interesting. I
just
don't know why
getting
that's doing
ridiculous.
that, considering.
You're quick with the finger there, on flipping back and
So,
forth.
so
Yeah.
$2.5 million, I'm looking at Spencer.
It's
What
whack.
what are we illuminating here, Spencer?
It's field lighting, LED field lighting, so it's retrofitting our current fields with halogen, that have halogen bulbs. When you install a new field, they don't do halogen bulbs anymore, it's all LED. And currently, it is really tough to get someone to come here to change bulbs. We don't have the capacity, any of the companies around here that have a lift high enough to get there, so we have to contract it out of Virginia. It's very expensive. They have to drive out on their fields, creating ruts. So we really need to go to an LED systems on our fields if we, one field at a time. Wouldn't be all in one shot. It would be kind of, we would do one field and then go to another field, and then eventually, hopefully, all of our main use parks will be LED lights. That's the main.
Spencer, I would assume this is additional, because Rob, if you recall, we just, a year or so ago.
Well, yeah, we had 800,000, $700,000.
That's at First Flight, yep. So
But
we're
these
talking
are
about
this is lighting fields that we have that are not lighted,
Yes, sir. Nag said soccer.
not replacing lighting.
No, this is replacing lighting, replacing halogen, not so we can have all
Is
LED.
First Light halogen?
Wait, we don't have any fields that aren't lit, right? All of our fields are
Correct.
lit, correct?
Correct,
So this
yes.
is replacing existing lighting with LED lighting.
So we don't have to change bulbs every year where we're
So we
changing
spent
bulbs.
$800,000 and now we gotta spend more money to change it to halogen lighting?
No,
When we
no,
just-
from halogen to LED.
From halogen to LED
Oh,
at
to
like
LED,
Nag said,
excuse me.
Rec Park,
But let's.
President Center, but
The ones we just did are LED?
yes.
Okay.
If we were going to do that, we would do it as it came time to replace the lights that he's talking about, rather than replacing them with halogen lights. We would do
Right,
it convert.
I got you
Yeah.
now, okay. Because I was getting ready to say, I don't know too many fields that we have that aren't lighted.
We don't have any of
I
it.
didn't think so.
Is there a cost per unit on that? I remember doing, like up at Westgate Park, I actually did the retrofits on the lights in the gymnasium there. And I remember what they ran about, but that's a completely different light bulb for the exterior light bulbs on the fields. Do we have a cost per unit?
Without having it in front of me, I can,
Something we
I
can
did
get
get a
later.
quote
Okay.
to do Nag said, and it was $350,000 to retrofit from halogen to LED.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was for all the poles. So they take the top of each pole off, come in, and then put a new top on with LED. They use the same
Okay, so they're completely replacing the whole top of the pole?
Just the top parts with the lights.
Gotcha.
Yep, so.
Does that answer that question? Number 6. Moving on to number 7, land banking. Well, land's hard to find. I would recommend we buy early than later. Land's only getting more expensive. But when we look for land, I would first recommend looking for adjacent land to existing facilities. It's cheaper to buy land when it becomes available and expand an existing park than it is to have to buy an entirely new area and redevelop a new park. That's what we're saying there. The old swimming hole. What a cool place. I think that this plan is recommending a rename of that location. I think that there's a lot in that location that could be reinvested in and turned into a destination. I think it's important. Multi-use trails, greenways, we heard a little bit about the boardwalk, fantastic.
Let's go back to swimming hole. 1.5, rename the site.
Yes.
Site-specific master plan and updates to park site. We're strictly talking the park now. We're not talking the swimming hole.
Well, the park surrounding
The park
it, correct.
facility.
Park facility.
Well, part of that is the swimming hole, and that is a dangerous location for swimming.
Absolutely. Hence the need for a site-specific master plan to figure out how better to use that site and provide recreation there outside of the more dangerous things
So
that have been there.
in some of the discussions, without having done a master plan, there's that place there, there's a gazebo there's parking
Right.
there. If you look a little to the right, there's remnants of the old ferry dock that goes out. So the idea that you could have a park with a nicer gazebo, with a pier, with some amenities there to do outdoor activities on that site that would not include swimming in that dangerous area is something that a master plan would tell
That's
you
where
what's
I'm going with
feasible and
this.
how that
That's
would
where I'm
work.
going.
I went the same spot because I don't want that swimming hole.
Right. So what, Commissioner Burson would just say what?
We used to host birthday parties there as kids because there was picnic tables, there
Right.
was a sand pit.
Oh, it's a great spot, great, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned about trying to do anything swimming-wise.
I would agree.
That is too dangerous.
We agree.
But you do have a nice piece of land, and that view is absolutely beautiful, and I think your public would
We
appreciate
talked about sunsets at Soundside Park. You have a wonderful park facility it's a little tired, it's been well loved, and we feel like it could be revitalized with a few new amenities that would allow more opportunities at that park.
Got it.
We all are aware of the benefits of connectivity and walkability in our community. You have a beautiful place to live, and people are going to walk regardless. Seeking opportunities to find easements, to acquire land, to build trails should be something you should consider over the next 10 years. I think the Boardwalk Project's an excellent example of what you're doing, and I would encourage you to continue doing that. With that, moving on. Why do I have this picture of Jackson County's aquatic facility? Because it's extremely expensive, and I don't want you to leave here not knowing what these things cost. While there is high demand for something like this, I think this is something that should be looked at more as a future goal than an immediate or midterm goal. Okay, you have a lot of existing facilities that are fantastic. Reinvestment in your existing facilities should be a priority.
And to add what Jim just mentioned, I think this is a facility of this magnitude likely would need partners and partnerships. I don't think any one entity should take this item alone. So I think as we move forward, there should be considered down the road, but I think even more so the partnerships within the county should be a component of that before you move forward, if it's taken up.
Is that picture on the right part of what's on the left?
Yes, they're the same facility.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, primarily for smaller children, almost like a little water park or something?
It is. It's more of like considered a leisure pool.
That's
Gotcha.
right.
Versus your traditional lap
A
pool.
zero entry.
Got it.
It's zero entry indoor at an aquatic center. It's kind of like an indoor splash pad. It's that safe place where my wife can take the kids and not have to worry about it being so deep.
What are we looking at financially there?
north of 30 million. Those are very expensive, expensive to operate. They do offer value, but it's one of the things that it just, we felt like there's a lot more demand for other recreational amenities based on the current needs.
Moving on. Oakley Collier report mentioned a lot of improvements I think are warranted. They're valid. I think we call these legacy projects. While you have excellent facilities now that are well-loved, as I pointed out, there's need to reinvest in those to keep those relevant into the future. I think we've also heard from the public a number of things they'd love to see added, like that aquatic facility, but we understand the costs associated with those things. I think what I would like to recommend is that you invest in what you currently have and update that prior to these large projects, lest we end up having incomplete projects across the whole system.
Before we move on, 0.25 cent sales tax. Do we know what revenue? Matt, I'm putting you on the spot. If it's not available, I can get it later. What?
Right now, we were ballparking it earlier that with one around that 30 million issuance, so it's
How much annual revenue does a 0.25 cent?
I think we were ballparking it at the 2 to 2.5 range. Shaking his head.
Probably 6 million. It's more than 6 million.
I thought it was around 6.
Well, hang on, guys. What is our sales tax revenue today? I thought it was in the 25 million range total for the county.
Sounds about right.
And that's off of roughly 6%.
6.
0.25 cents would be 1/24th of that. 1/24th of 25 is roughly $1 million a year. So I'm not getting on 4 or 5 million.
We're doing back of the, we'll have to get you a number.
That's what I do.
David and I ran some numbers months ago, and I don't remember what they were, but it was significantly more than $1 million. It would have, by our estimation then, and it would have funded more than the 30 million that you're talking about here over if you did 20-year financing. But,
Okay.
but we'll have to run
We'll
them.
take it offline then. I was coming up with a much smaller number, but, okay.
And with that wraps that up. I'd take any additional
Well,
questions.
it's a good thing we didn't have a surf pool on this list.
Wave pool, yeah.
Wave pool. Like Virginia Beach just opened up to the tune of $1 million. My son was there Sunday. For $125, he got to ride for an hour.
Wow.
$125 an hour to ride in that wave pool.
All in, I added it up to roughly a $50 million estimated total price tag if we were to do the legacy projects, as well as all of the long-range, mid-range, and immediate range, which is 40% of our annual budget, which is
That's right.
big, kind of a big number, yeah.
We didn't touch into any detail on indoor recreation space. Is there any questions regarding that? That's one of your high demands of just need for more space that's multi-purpose.
One question. The indoor space needs that you all looked at weren't dissimilar from the indoor space needs that Oakley Collier did for us a year ago. Is that correct?
For the most part, yes, sir.
Okay, so we have that from the Oakley Collier study.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we had a rec center with a gym on Roanoke Island and a rec center with gym in B zone. I guess that's
Northern Beach.
But I like their recommendations with respects to our current facilities. If in fact we have the room, that would be the route to go, is expand those. Would cut considerable cost.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think you're correct. Where we can expand to our existing facilities. If we can't meet that demand or the space needs, then we have to look at another option, which is likely either land purchase or find maybe a partner with another local government that may have space for that. I think that's one of the important things that will be important for the Recreation Department to coordinate with some of the local governments to find some of these mutual needs together where we can partner with and addressing some of that demand.
I got a question for you, and this might be completely, in your studies and working with other municipalities and counties across that you do, is there a distance cutoff that you feel that people will drive to go to a multiplex field or to a multiplex event site? And the reason I'm asking, we have Currituck County, which is a large county. They're driving sometimes 20 to 30 miles to go to that megaplex center they have up there in Barco. We have tons of property across the bridge in Mans Harbor, on the other side of Mans Harbor, that we could put 10 soccer fields, baseball fields, everything in the world you want, and take this quarter-cent sales tax, have a multiplex field there.
I'll start and Jim can add in, but there is a distance. Distance and time does affect particularly your rec leagues, where if I have practice at 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. for instance, mom, dad gets home, and then we got to go to for practice, and that distance with congestion became a factor. We did consider that on the Mans Harbor in that area, and that was one of probably the primary reason was just distance, and is it going to be it would be inconvenient from a time standpoint and travel. Not to say it's not an option, but we didn't include it in that recommendation because of that.
I would add, as a parent of 3 boys that do sports, it really depends on how much time I have, right? So you're going to have some local folks that are involved in leagues, they're investing in team sports, and they're going to say, hey, what an awesome place, let's drive. Then you're going to have those folks that are like, hey, I just got after work, you want to play ball? Nah, we only have an hour. And they're not going to be able to make it. So how convenient is inconvenience? There's a continuum. It's not an easy answer. I think if you're looking at it from a tournament point of view and maybe a revenue generation point of view, that could be a wise investment. Because people would not only come from local, they would come from outside perhaps.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. But if it's, after work, folks getting together for pickup sports, probably not so. It's probably.
I think the revenue for a soccer tournament was $30-some thousand in Currituck for one tournament in soccer.
There are those opportunities. I do think we need to build facilities for primarily for the residents, where the opportunity arises to have if you improve a facility or develop a new facility, you obviously want to consider that how can we leverage tournaments, recreation, tourism as part of that. So I think but primarily we try to, if we're going to build something, we want to make sure it's going to get used by the local residents as effectively as possible.
So where do we go from here? This is a draft. Where do we go from here? This is a draft recommendation and implementation. What are you suggesting? We take this draft, mull it over amongst ourselves, get back with you? I mean, where do we go from here?
Well, typically at this stage, we've worked a lot with county administration departments reviewing these recommendations. Obviously, this is for consideration. If ideally, we would want you to adopt a plan at the end of the day, whether you do it today or if you have maybe you have some reservations about a few components, you could say, okay, we would want to know what those are. But ideally, as you move forward in the implementation of these improvements, you're going to be seeking grants, and it's going to help you tremendously by having an adopted plan. This is a guidance document. It's like a compass. It gives us direction in where we're headed. Things will change. Demands, trends change just like they have over the past 5 years. So this document's to give you flexibility as well, so that you're not mandated to do one item on year 1 or year 5. You, if you had a huge donation, monetary donation for a certain type of facility, that may put that at a higher priority than it was before. So we want to make sure that's clear, is that it's just a guidance document for you.
I would, this is the first I've seen this today. Well, when it was in our packet a couple of days. In fairness to my fellow commissioners, I'd like for us to digest this and before we come back with making some kind of final plan. And we can do that relatively quick. That's just my suggestion to the board. We could address it back in in October. That's just a suggestion in fairness to my fellow.
On that same line, Mr. Chairman, it strikes me similarly that a small working group of Bobby, Spencer, and perhaps 3 of us, so that we don't,
rec board.
and Irvin, well, obviously the 3, and maybe 2 other commissioners, sort of like we handle at the CIP. We have a small working group that comes back and could go through some modeling, some exercises on prioritization, funding, et cetera, to help the rest of us digest and understand better the implications and prioritization and needs.
Rob kind of took the words out of my mouth. This isn't a plan you all are going to go read for a month and come back next month and say, okay, here's our plan.
Right.
This is going to take some work, some effort. This is, what we asked them to do is what they did, is to give us the community input, put it in some kind of order, put it in something that we have something to work off of that we can plan. And we recognized when we began that the priorities weren't going to be a vote, if you will, of the public input. It was going to be a combination of what the public input is, what the resources are available, what the land is that's available, what they recommend, and so on. And you put all that together and you say, here's our plan going forward as funds become available from whatever source. This is what we see that we're going to do, whether it's, fix what we've got first, and then the first thing we add is this or whatever. We can, with a group, we can come up with a plan, we can share that. And then once we have a plan in place that we says this is the Dare County Parks and Rec plan, then Spencer has a document that he can go out and go grant hunting, and they have a plan they can look at, and, maybe we can get some money from a part of grant to do a splash pad, and we put a little of our money with it and we do our first splash pad somewhere. Or maybe, there's some other fund that we can add a gym or what. I don't know, I'm making this up, but we'll have a plan and he'll have a document that he can go out and search funding sources from.
Well, we'll have some meetings and just, I'll ask my fellow board commissioners who wants to be a part of this 3 or 4 person group, and we'll sit down and knock it out and then bring it back to the board. So just,
well, you get back with me and then we'll send out an invite and have whoever we want to have there.
Right. Sounds good.
I definitely want to be a part of that. Bobby, I was talking to the chairman before the meeting, and I was contacted by Ivory Ingram, Kildover Hills. Evidently, they want to use their fire department / old police department for recreational use. It's between now and when we all get together, can you call them and see exactly what their long-range plans for that property is?
I mean, there are opportunities with Kildover, much as we've partnered with, say, Nags Head for our soccer complex. There are opportunities in Kildover Hills, if Kildover Hills has an interest in that as well, to partner with them to try to meet some of these county-wide functions, which includes the people that live in Kildover Hills. So whatever opportunities like that are available, once we have a plan. Now, if they're looking to do something tomorrow and our plan puts whatever that place would be at the bottom of the list, then our timing and their timing's not going to line up, but we can see.
All right, in light of the conversations we've just had, do we need to take any action today on this? Okay, all right. Because it recommends that we accept the draft, but let us get back and
I don't know what accepting the draft even means, but you've got what we paid them to give you, and then what we do with it from here will be up to us. And
got it. Okay. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you. We'll take a 10-minute break, County Manager. Call the Dare County Board of Commissioners meeting back to order, and I'll turn it over to the county manager.
Yes, sir. Item 12 on the agenda is the Harriot Street Pathway Survey. I don't know how many meetings ago it was. How many meetings was it, Irvin? A long time.
Long time ago.
We looked at trying to do a pathway from the back of the Manio Middle School down Harriot Street to take it all the way out to Highway 64. What we have going on there now is the kids are using that area, but they're walking down the shoulder of the road. And so the idea was if we could create some kind of a pathway, we could make it safer and better for those kids walking down that road to get out to Highway 64. Barton went down and for the last year and a half or more has been trying to bird dog grants and things that could do it, and we would say one thing and they would tell us another, and then we talk some more and they change it. And so anyway, long and the short is we're at a place now where we think there's a possibility we could get some grant money to do that, but for us to do that, we would have to invest some money. The right-of-way there is pretty narrow, and so you couldn't really do a sidewalk that has a space between the paved highway and the bike path or the walkway that you're trying to create. It would be one of those where you would have the highway and then you'd have a curb and then you'd have the walkway right beside it. We had some discussions, I did with Commissioner Bateman, I had some discussions with Barton about, was that a good idea? Was it safe to put it there only with the curb between it and the the traveled part of the highway? Well, the answer was the kids are walking there now with nothing, and it's not marked or anything, so it's got to be better than what's going on.
It is.
Yeah, so we moved forward with that, and then what we found was that in order for us to be competitive to get a grant, we would have to have a survey done to survey where we would want to put it and have some plans there available to give to the granting agency so they could get a grant. So then we had discussions about, okay, then where would it go? And the idea initially was to put it on the far side of the road, and you would have to come out from behind the school, cross Harriet Street, and then the pathway would go down that side of the road. And I get my north and souths and all backwards back there. But anyway, it's on the far side of the road, and I thought, well, what could we do so that they didn't have to cross the road? And the answer is that might or might not be able to be done because the way the right-of-way set up, the road's not dead center in the right-of-way. It's kind of moved over and uses up a lot of the right-of-way on the same side of the road as the road, what's the name of that street? Groundhog Lane comes out at. And so that might not work. The only way we would know 100% for sure is if we did a survey of that too. So again, if we just did the area, the widest part of the right-of-way, which is what we were going to do originally, that's about a $20,000 cost that we would have to invest that we don't get back. Whether we get the grant or we don't get that back. If we wanted to at least inquire about whether it would work on the other side of the street, then that's another 20 grand that we don't get back, and whether we get the grant or whether it works or it doesn't. And so the question for you all is, are we concerned about them crossing the street? And if we're not, then we spend 20 grand. We don't think the other side of the street will work, but the only way we know is to invest $20,000 to figure it out. And so for us to move forward, you have to approve.
Well, this is as far as I'm concerned, this is a safety thing for kids, and that concerns me. And something needs to be done.
I don't just, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
My other deal was, will we take this from our contingency? Okay. That's all I need to know.
As far as, if they do have, if it comes down that we do have to cross the street there, can we do something to improve that crosswalk section? I know it's painted on the ground now. Add lights, add some kind of timer system, something where they can press a
I would say we would
button?
put that in our project design when we got ready to build it, yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Bobby, I got maybe a solution that we've done in other areas.
Sure.
West Kitty Hawk Road, we had no right of way to put a path there. So what we ended up doing, we basically moved the road to the south side of, we paid more on the south side and then moved the lines over. And so it would give you more access on the north side for the path. So when they do the survey, it's creative. It works.
Yeah, we don't usually build roads as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not in the road business.
But what I'm saying, when they do the survey, if there is an additional right-of-way on the other side, that would give us the option when they pave the path, to put the path there, just move the lines over.
So what we have is if you look on your map.
I was just gonna say, can we go to the map? I'm lost here.
Okay.
And it's upside down. I'm reading upside
You
down.
can't see where the right, I mean, I can't see where the right-of-way.
The right-of-way, yes, you can. See the lot lines?
Okay.
So as you go down, if you look on the map to the left, there's lots of room
You got
between the
more room
red,
on the
which
left.
is the center line, and the lot line. And that's the logical.
White line.
This black line is
He
the
said
lot
look to the
line.
left.
It's really on this.
So these lot lines.
The black line is the
Like you
lot
said.
line.
Like we
And
did
then
West
so
Kitty
this
Hawk
is
The
Road.
red line is
the
the center
black
line.
line is right on the road.
Yeah,
There's no
correct.
spirit
We
of
did
the
have an
spot.
engineer go out there and look at Albemarle just to take a look, and they did agree, like, based on, again, just basic observation with before a survey, that the southern side had more room, less drainage infrastructure, less ditches than the north side. But again, without a survey, it could be that the north side is feasible, especially if you shift the road in those tight spots. The crosswalk off of 64, that goes across 64 is on the south side. But then again, like we talked about, you would then have to cross to the north side to Groundhog once you get to the school, so.
Where's Groundhog?
That is the back of the school on the,
A little
Road
up at the
going
very
to-
top to the right.
It's the school road.
The road that has no name.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I memorized the map, so I was able to figure that out, partner.
I will notify next time.
Just shoot me, guys. I'm trying to follow it, and honestly, God, it's like, can you find the hidden guy where Waldo is on this map?
So,
Waldo Road.
my assumption is we want to move forward, and so the real question is, do we spend 20 or 40?
I'd just do the 20 for the left side, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong? I mean, if they can't do it on that side, what makes you think they're gonna be able to do it on the other side with less room?
Well, I think they can do it on that side. The question is, do we spend 20 to figure out if we could do it on the other side?
Is the red line moving west toward Groundhog?
So Groundhog, if you go to the top of the map,
Is this?
is the little.
North.
Got it. But the red line from
We
64
think the one
up is
side's gonna
going
work.
That's the
west.
center line.
Just do the one
Center line
side.
of the highway.
Yes. I mean, it's,
So if you take my theory of being able to move just the lines over, just do one side of
Yeah.
it, find out what you got, and then just move the lines when you pave the path. It's simple.
Just do the left side,
yeah,
Okay.
the south side.
right,
The south side of the road.
Yeah, I agree.
right,
There's way more on that south side.
yeah.
All right,
You need a motion?
I do. Motion to approve $20,000 for the survey for the south side of Harriet Street for the walkway.
The motion is on the floor by Commissioner Bateman, seconded by Commissioner Burris.
You understand what I'm talking about?
Correct, yep. South side, which would either, A, you put the trail on the south side, or you move the road to the south.
If you're
You
putting a
face the north
30-foot
side, yep.
walkway, you just add 30 feet and then you redraw the lines to wherever they
But who
need to
knows
go.
when they're gonna repave that road?
Got it.
Right. All right, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous. Moving on.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barton.
That boy, Barton.
Come back and see us.
When you want more money?
Item 3 is
He's the one who gets money.
a resolution for a revision of the opioid settlement fund. Sheila, could you come up and speak to that, please?
It's still morning. Good morning, Sheila.
Good morning, everybody. So this does not involve any new money whatsoever. It's just a change. As we were working through with our state consultants on the plan or the authorization you already adopted, we realized that there were some line items that really the state prefers us to put in a different category. So all this is doing is asking you to update what you did with just moving things into 5 different categories. So there's no change in the overall dollar amount. There's no change in the strategies that we're implementing with this money. It's just how they're coded for the state.
So we need to approve the revised resolution, right?
Yes, please.
Would you read that, County Manager?
Do you really? I'm glad to read it, but it's.
Read it, read it, please, for the public.
Yes, sir. Whereas Dare County has joined the national settlement agreements with companies engaged in the manufacturing, distribution, and dispensing of opioids. And whereas the allocation, use, and reporting of funds stemming from these national settlement agreements and bankruptcy resolutions, the opioid settlement funds, are governed by the memorandum of agreement between the state of North Carolina and local governments on proceeds relating to the settlement of the opioid litigation, the MOA, and the supplemental agreement for additional funds from additional settlements of opioid litigation, the SAAF. And whereas Dare County has received opioid settlement funds pursuant to these national settlement agreements and deposited the opioid settlement funds in a separate special revenue fund as required by Section D of the MOA. And whereas Dare County has received opioid settlement funds pursuant to these national settlement agreements and deposited the opioid settlement funds in a separate special revenue fund as required by Section D of the MOA. And whereas Section E.6 of the MOA states that before spending opioid settlement funds, the local government's governing body must adopt a resolution that, 1, indicates that it is an authorization for expenditure of opioid settlement funds. 2, states that the specific strategy or strategies the county or municipality intends to fund pursuant to option A or option B, using the item letter and or number in Exhibit A or B to identify each funded strategy. 3, states the amount dedicated to each strategy for a specific period of time. Now therefore be it resolved in alignment with NCMOA and SAAF, Dare County authorizes the expenditure of opioid settlement funds as follows. 1, first strategy, A, name of strategy, post-overdose response team. B, strategy is included in Exhibit A. C, item letter and or number in Exhibit A or Exhibit B to the MOA number 8. D, amount authorized for this strategy is $71,282. E, period of time during which the expenditure may take place. Start date of July 1st, 2024 through end date of June 30, 2025. F, description of the program, project, or activity. Peer support specialist, overdose response coordinator. Duties include follow-up on overdoses with people at high risk for overdose via collaboration with EMS and local law enforcement in the community and connecting this population and businesses in Dare County with harm reduction tools. G, provider, Dare County Health and Human Services. 2, second strategy is authorized. The name of the strategy, evidence-based addiction treatment. The strategy is included in Exhibit A. C, item letter and or number in Exhibit A or Exhibit B to the MOA, number 2. Amount authorized for this strategy, $45,000. Period of time during which expenditure may take place. Start date of July 1st, 2024 through end date of June 30th, 2025. F, description of the program, project, or activity. Fund tuition for Dare residents who are uninsured/self-pay. This program provides evidence-based addiction treatment along with medication-assisted treatment. G, the provider, Changing Tides Addiction Center. Number 3, third strategy authorized. A, the name of the strategy, Recovery Support Services. B, strategies included in Exhibit A. C, item letter and or number in Exhibit A or Exhibit B to the MOA, number 3. Letter D, amount authorized for this strategy, $142,118. E, period of time during which this expenditure may take place. Start date July 1st, 2024 through end date June 30th, 2025. F, description of the program, project, and/or activity. Recovery Court Coordinator to provide case management / linkage to resources for recovery court participants. Dare County's Health and Human Services will address community recovery supports for transportation assistance to recovery groups, counseling appointments, rehabilitation, detox centers, food, clothing, healthcare needs, and medications. Dare residents with opioid use disorder or histories of opioid use will also be eligible to have their entrance fees to Dare Challenges abstinence / faith-based treatment program covered if necessary. Letter G, the provider. Dare County / NC Courts, $110,000. Dare County Health and Human Services, $17,118. Dare Challenge Residential Program, $15,000. Number 4, the fourth authorized strategy. Name of the strategy, reentry programs. B, strategy is included in Exhibit A. C, item letter and/or number in Exhibit A or B to the MOA. Number 12. D, amount authorized for this strategy, $60,000. E, period of time during which expenditure may take place. Start date of July 1st, 2024 through end date of June 30th, 2025. F, description of the program, project, or activity. Link jail population to resources needed, counseling services, co-pays, entry fees, rehab costs, clothing, medical assistance, and health care. G, provider, Dare County Detention Center. Number 5, fifth authorized strategy. A, name of strategy, naloxone distribution. B, strategy included in Exhibit A. C, item letter and/or number in Exhibit A or Exhibit B to the MOA. Number 7. D, amount authorized for this strategy, $65,300. E, period of time during which expenditure may take place. Start date July 1st, 2024 through end date June 30th, 2025. F, description of the program, project, or activity. Supply naloxone and fentanyl test strips to the community. G, the provider is Dare County Health and Human Services. The total amount of opioid settlement funds appropriated across the above numbered authorized strategies is $383,700. Adopted this the 3rd day of September 2025.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Is there a motion to approve?
I didn't catch, could we start over? Oh, sorry, no.
Yeah.
Let me get a swallow of water, we'll read it again.
You might not have seen it on the agenda, but we might have item 13.5 where we get Bobby to read the entire book of numbers up here.
I did have one serious question, though.
Absolutely.
Naloxone distribution was the fifth authorized strategy, and this is actually for you, Sheila. I heard and/or read recent news reports that something called xylazine was showing up in various narcotics, kind of recreational drugs, and that it was, for lack of a better term, resistant
Non-responsive
to the benefits of Narcan or naloxone. Absolutely. I don't know what xylazine is. It seemed to be a synthetic opioid coming in through the southern border, originating in China. That was part of the reporting. I guess I'm just asking for a real, if you have any quick snapshot of what that is.
So it's just like when you're constantly finding in the drug market new drugs being added or manufactured for additional ways for people to get high. So we're finding, just like before when we were finding things laced with fentanyl, now this is starting to be another laced additive, so to speak. And there are concerns that it's not responsive to Narcan or naloxone. So
more good news.
So don't do drugs. That's what it comes down to.
Okay. Thank you, Sheila.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to approve, to adopt. Is there, pardon?
Second.
Yes, Commissioner Burris. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila.
Item 14 is the initial resolution for the Series 2025B bond projects. And Matt, if you'll present that, please.
Good morning, Matt.
So in the packet was a summary of the resolution. This is the initial resolution that authorizes the county manager and myself to take the steps to issue debt in an amended amount not to exceed $47,075,000 for the public works and criminal investigation building projects. We are currently evaluating both the issuance and collateral structure to optimize basically or get the lowest cost of interest or cost of capital, as well as maintain capacity for future borrowing. So there is some language in this resolution that provides for the structural flexibility. It also includes language for the county to reimburse itself for expenditures that are incurred on the projects in advance of the issuance. The resolution also sets a public hearing date of October 6th to review the financing structure.
Any questions of Matt?
Just briefly to recap, Matt, the 45 million will cover the projects of?
Yeah, so it's amended to $47,075,000.
Mine says 45. Did we amend on, did I miss that?
So what has happened since this was circulated is that we completed the bidding process for the Public Works project, and the Public Works
yes,
project
you did say that.
bids
Yes,
came
sorry.
in above. So the breakdown of that is $44,525,000 for the Public Works project, $2 million for the criminal investigation building, and then the remaining $550,000 is the closing and cost of issuance.
And remember, the $2 million for the criminal investigation building is the same $2 million placeholder that we've had in there that has not yet been bid. So that number is our placeholder number without knowing the true number yet.
Yep. Thank you, Matt.
Sure.
Any questions of Matt?
Motion to approve.
I'm not going to read this one, too.
I'm going to spare you. I'll make
That was pretty lengthy.
I'll make a motion to adopt the initial resolution providing for the plan to finance the 2025 B project, including Public Works and Sheriff's criminal investigation building projects, for an amount not to exceed $45,075,000.
47.
47. Yeah, 75. Resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the County of Dare, North Carolina, authorizing the negotiation of an installation financing contract or amendment thereto, directing the publications of notice with respects thereto, declaring the intent of the county to reimburse itself for capital expenditures from proceeds thereof, and providing for certain other related matters. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Balance. Floor is open for additional comments. Hearing none, those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you, and thank you for not having me read it.
Do what? Yeah.
That's a pleasure for the
I
manager.
was sparing you.
Item 15 on the agenda is your approval of the annual meeting invitation list to the Southern Albemarle Association.
Any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve by Commissioner Balance. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Vice Chair. Open floor is open for further discussion. Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Next is your consent agenda. On the consent agenda, you have the approval of the minutes for August the 4th. You have the charges to the tax collector. You have the sheriff's office additional equipment, and you have the Bucks and Avon Beach Nourishment Grant Award resolutions.
Motion to approve.
It's a motion on the floor by the vice chair to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Burris. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Next are your board appointments. First, you have the Health and Human Services Board, the terms of Irvin Bateman, Dr. Ashley Clower, Alan Moran, LaTanya Murray, Doug Tillett, all expire this month. The Health and Human Services Board recommends that Irvin Bateman, Dr. Ashley Clower, Alan Moran, and Doug Tillett all be reappointed, and Susan Lee to be appointed to fill LaTanya Murray's seat.
I don't know about the Irvin Bateman guy.
I don't know about him either.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to appoint Irvin Bateman, Dr. Ashley Glover, Alan Moran, Doug Tillett, be reappointed, and to fill the Susan seat with Tanya Murray. I'm sorry,
Other way around.
Vice versa.
Yeah. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Balance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
And then next is your Parks and Rec Advisory Council. Justin Bateman terms expire this month, and the Parks and Rec Advisory Council recommends his reappointment.
Motion reappointed.
Motion to reappoint by Commissioner Bateman. Is there seconded by Commissioner Burris? Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.
And then your upcoming board and committee appointments. In October, you have the Fessenden Center Advisory Board with 2 terms expiring, and the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council with 2 terms expiring. In November, you have the Older Adult Service Advisory Council with 1 term expiring, and the Veterans Advisory Council with 1 term expiring. And then in December, you have the Equalization Review Board with 5 terms expiring, and the Special Motor Vehicle Valuation Review Committee with 3 terms expiring, and then the Tourism Board with 6 terms expiring. And that would be your agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, County Manager. That brings us to item 18 on the agenda, and that's Commissioner's business, County Manager's business. Do you have anything additional for us this afternoon?
Yes, sir. One is, from time to time, we have issues with zoning enforcement, whether it be trash or encroachments or whatever the zoning issue of the day happens to be. And we take enforcement action up and through litigation with staff. Noah and his team send letters, contact them, and we try to get compliance without having to do anything, without having to cost the property owner any money, without having to cost the county any money. But from time to time, we don't get success and we need litigation. And I'm just looking for you all to authorize me when we get to the end of what Noah's staff can do to move forward with whatever I need to do in the legal system with court actions or whatever to enforce the rules and regulations that you all have adopted.
You need that in the form of a motion?
Yes, sir.
Then there it is. Is there a second?
I second.
The second by Commissioner Bateman. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carried.
All right, and then the second thing has to do with debris down in Buxton and just to get some approvals from you all. So far, we have moved 48.5 tons of debris from that area of Buxton. About almost 14 million of that, 13.5 million of that was from this weekend from the volunteers that went down there. And then the other 35 million is from the Park Service and the work that they've done with their contractors to get things off of the beach. So there's been a huge amount of debris removed. We didn't have to stockpile it in a holding area, haul it off. We were able to get it in boxes and do it. There is still debris left down there that we need to remove, and that's what I need to ask you about. Dustin, you can come up in case they have questions, but we've been down there, the chairman and I have been down there 4 times.
Four times.
And we've looked, and I haven't been down there since Saturday, so I'm not sure what's left there now to be picked up. I'm sure it's significant. We have a debris contractor that we have used that does our large item pickup. We've had them down there on the site. They've driven the roads, looked at the debris piles that are there, and have agreed to a contract or to remove that. We have an hour, a rate per hour, but we also have a minimum of $55,995, and we have a not to exceed amount of $72,975. So what we would be proposing would be to have authorization to use, you have to authorize us to use the storm fund. We have a storm fund where we set aside money to do exactly this kind of thing when we have a storm, but you all have to give me authority to use that fund. If you give me that authority, then Dustin can coordinate that pickup and we'll clean up going there. We do have to have some conversation with Shanna. We do have to go down there and take a look. If all the debris is out, then it's really easy. We can go down there and pick it up and haul it away and we're done. There doesn't have to be anything else done. If there's still debris there that people have not yet moved out from their yards or their houses in that area, then we're going to have to do some kind of an announcement and give somebody a date that says, hey, by this date, you got to have it out. We're going to come pick it up. If it's not out, we're not getting it. And after that date, it's up to you to get your debris removed and hauled to the appropriate place. And I can't tell you the answer to that, but Dustin and Shanna will take a look and decide which of those two ways we need to go. But what I need today is the authorization to use that storm fund to pay the debris contractor to remove that debris.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor by the vice chair to approve that. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Balance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Are you going to, do we need a motion on the tipping fee?
Well, so on the right now, what we've done is what we've done with regard to the tipping fees is we've put roll-off boxes out there that we're hauling. We don't know whose debris is which, so there's nobody to charge a tipping fee to. So I don't need a waiver there. We're just hauling that off, putting it in there at our own cost.
Yeah.
I was there on Saturday when they, or, Saturday morning when they did the community pickup. I think I would be very surprised if you had anything else. We had piles of construction debris, vegetation and metal. There was one yard all the way at the end where we talked to that Mr. McDonald.
Right.
There was 35 people in his yard at one time that got everything out of there.
Right.
They had chainsaws and were cutting off stuff that was hanging off people's houses. I would be very surprised if you had anything after this contract. I think
That'll make it quick because they can go in there in a few days and have it all gone.
they even took where you couldn't drive out on the road anymore, where it was all sanded. A couple of guys had trailers and had backed it up in the sand and were moving it to the road where they could get it with the arm. So I think Buxton the
local stepped up to the plate.
They totally stepped up to the plate.
Saturday morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We, like Bobby said, I was down there 4 days, and it was incredible amount of stuff that was hauled out of there. It was just unbelievable. And hats off to the Park Service and on the FUD site too. I mean, that is as clean could be. I mean, there was debris all over the place there. So we appreciate Dave doing that, and we provided the boxes there for them as well. So all in all, it went really fast. It went really, really well. So is that all you have then?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Public Information Officer, Ms. Hester, do you have anything you'd like to share with us today?
The airport has their celebration of the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II this Saturday, September 10th, 10 to 3. And the county will have a booth there, a display, giving out information. But they're going to have U.S. Navy presentations, the Veterans Color Guard, a silent auction, vintage aircraft, antique cars, some vendors, food trucks, youth activities. So it's free admission, free parking, so stop by if you're able to.
I want to fly one of them planes.
Yeah, sometimes they have, you can fly at a discounted rate. I don't know if they're offering that, but that is sometimes an option. So,
Great.
that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorothy. Finance Director, Matt, do you have anything else for us?
Just to add, the Local Government Commission has held November 19th for our issuance date of the debt.
Great. Thank you, sir. All right, that brings us to the close of our meeting. I need a motion to adjourn until 9 a.m. on October the 6th.
Mr. Chairman, before you close, are you going to do commissioner's business?
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I was trying to get out of here. I forgot. That slipped my mind. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate that. I don't have anywhere to be until 6. That's in Buxton.
I want to go back and reread that resolution, because, I mean,
We have time to go back and read that.
I
resolution.
accidentally
should
got
get
it
Matt
off
to read
halfway
his.
through.
Sorry, guys, ladies. How about Commissioner Creef, will you lead it off today?
Sure thing. Oh, well, September's here. That means hunting season's here. I got to go out and take a few of the boys out there hunting on Monday, Labor Day. We had an excellent dove hunt. My shoulder is still sore from all the shooting, but it was a great time.
Did you kill some stuff?
We killed a 6-man limit of doves. It was pretty good.
6 what now?
6-man limit, so we killed 90 birds.
So 6 apiece?
No, 15 apiece. Yeah, no, we were doing some shooting. We had a little boy out there with a 410, little cricket break barrel. Every once in a while, we let a dove land and let him go out there and ground swat him with that 410. So he had fun.
The skies have been cleared of
Skies
excessive
are
flying
clear.
birds.
The farmers are safe. Their seeds are going
Thank
to be all
God, the
right.
women and children can come back out. They can.
Yeah.
Dear God.
We got deer season opening up in 2 weeks, so then we're moving on to that. But, no, it was an excellent time. Football season's back. I know everybody loves that. Please, if you live in Dare County, please support our local high school and middle school athletic programs by going out and attending a few of the games, you know. Go to a football game. Go out there to a soccer game and enjoy yourself and enjoy our community. We have a lot to offer up there. We have some really excellent sports programs here in Dare County, and please come check them out. Other than that, I hope Alabama does better next week. They were a bit of a disappointment. And that's the end of my commissioner comments.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Baker.
Yes, sir. In public comment, it came up about salaries, teachers, and all the teachers do. I will just tell you this. There was a speech therapist in Currituck County, been there 20-plus years, just recently took a job in Chesapeake doing the same thing for $35,000 more. Wow. Our legislators ought to be embarrassed. They should be. Yep. They should really be embarrassed. You know, it's terrible that what's happening. They work really, really hard. And for that person, and she lives in Moyock, and she drives to Hickory School. So she's driving 15 minutes for another $35,000. Wow. CAMA. And all the good that CAMA does in their world, y'all, as Carol so spoke, you know, we can't take steps to secure our offshore because of the hardened structure thing. It's completely ridiculous. David Stick was a friend of mine, but he really screwed us on that one when he did that. Dear Challenge, we have got staff living in the staff house. We're supposed to get our CO on our 2 dormitories this week, coming up sometime. We're waiting for the final part to come in on one of our circuits that were bad on the sewage, but we're going to have heads in beds, I'm hoping, by Friday, which is really fantastic. It's just been a long time coming, but it's coming. The construction on the main building, we're looking at, we have a great contractor in Tommy Twitty. We should have that, I'm looking at May. We should have construction done on that, and we'll have the whole operation rolling. So we're very excited about that. Recovery court's running along really smooth. Robert Trvette's on fire. He's our judge. He's doing some amazing things. I think his whole team they're gelling, and we're in the process now considering getting a position on an advisory level there. And to explain to you why we have so many folks on MATs, but we have all these different physicians that are prescribing them.
What's MAT?
Medically assisted treatment. All these different physicians prescribing them. So we're bringing hopefully a physician in to coincide all that and get more unified. But it's really coming out good. We have 45 participants now, and we're really happy with it. And with that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Chairman House?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First off, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you. During the whole thing with Hurricane Aaron, you kept us informed, not just daily, but 2 or 3 times a day on what was happening from the county. And I can't thank you enough for keeping us all informed on that and for your hard work that you did during that situation. I do also want to thank our unsung heroes of Public Works for getting the roll-offs down there and getting everything situated. And most and foremost, I want to thank all the volunteers that went down there and cleaned up Buxton and Hatteras Island. The outpouring of the generosity of our citizens here in Dare County is second to none. We've seen it time and time again, and this was just another chapter of that well-being. Once Hurricane Aaron moved off, Miss Katie immediately went to work on the bar. We had some situations there, and now she's got the bar cleaned off fairly well. So now we've got boats going in and out of Oregon Inlet as well, so that's working out pretty good. It is September. Our kids are back in school. So please, if you're commuting back and forth to work, keep in mind you've got our children going back to school, and be safe-minded for that as well. It seems like here recently, it seems like every meeting we have to announce a death of someone who was extremely important in our community. Unfortunately, this meeting is no different. Kill Devil Hills Police Chief retired. Gradeless passed away last week. He was definitely an icon here on the Outer Banks and was a pure treasure to the town of Kill Devil Hills, and did some exemplary work there in the police department, and he will surely be missed throughout the community. And on a lighter note, the best part of any commissioners meeting, to see our pet of the week.
Our pet of the week this week is Kaylee. This sweet, resilient girl came into our care recently after her previous owner had to surrender her. Kaylee has spent her entire life in a loving home, so adjusting to her new surroundings have been difficult. We're hoping her forever home is just around the corner. When she was a puppy, she was in an accident that led to the loss of one of her legs. Don't let that fool you though, she hasn't let it slow her down. Kaylee still loves going for walks, playing, and enjoying life. To adopt Kaylee, or foster one of our other animals, come visit us Monday through Friday at our shelter located in Manio. For more information, visit our website at obxspca.org or visit our OBXSPCA Facebook page.
So please go out there to OBX SPCA, check out Kaylee and all the other animals they have there, and maybe you can give somebody else their forever home. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Appreciate it. Appreciate this comment. Commissioner Ross.
Okay. Just to recap briefly, on 9/11 at about 8:30 at EMS Station 1, we'll be gathering for that walk to the Wright Brothers Memorial and kind of the Never Forget 9/11 event that Lee Goldman explained to us during public comment. Number 2, on the subject of the SPCA, on October 3rd, everybody watching and listening, there's a big event, Stand Up for Strays, Stand Up for Strays, October 3rd at 6 p.m., Pirates Cove. Get your tickets at the SPCA website. I've got mine. And they are also currently in a campaign to drive collection of wet and dry dog and cat food for the SPCA shelter. So please keep that in mind. And lastly, I read the periodic reports from Dr. Davies and our Health and Human Services activities and the folks that we serve and help. And the children's section is always brutal. And today we recognize several folks getting their pins, and I don't want to diminish, but Shannon, Beth, and Jessica, Employee of the Month, Jessica, you're doing God's work. So it's a very, very needed service. So I really salute you and take my hat off to you. And our communities, well, families in our community need it, and they're providing it. So Sheila, thank you again to you and your department. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Ross. Commissioner Ballas.
Wanted to also thank you for your support and communication during the storm and inclusion in some of that discussion and things that were going on while it was happening. A testament to the relationship between the Board of Commissioners and the Buxton Civic Association and the Park Service is how quickly post-storm that we got the attention we needed from the Corps, from DC, to come down and see what that storm unveiled, and how quickly Dave jumped on that to get that cleaned up was, you know, hats off. Dave does an amazing job, and we're lucky to have him. The daycare issue that we talked about last time, we did meet, and we are working towards some solutions. I think it's going in a positive direction right now. And we've all got what Carol had brought up about that we got about the medical, access to medical care on Hatteras, and there is sometimes a little bit of a disconnect with the clinic down there. So I was going to suggest or ask, and I spoke with Sheila, if at the next meeting she could give a little update or report on what services our facilities offer. For, like, one of the concerns was somebody had labs, but they weren't an established patient, so they couldn't get their labs done in Avon. But I understand those are some things that we can do in that facility down there. So I just request Chairman Woodard if Sheila could give us a little update at the next meeting on those things. And other than that, that's all I got.
Thank you, Commissioner. And Commissioner Burris.
I'd just like to echo earlier sentiments that, fantastic job. Everybody involved with the storm from start to finish, from Chairman Woodard on down to the folks in Public Works. Everything was spot on, perfect timing, and just a great amount of work, handled perfectly. And it was a real, I think, boon to the community down there. Because it did a lot of damage, even though it was so far offshore. I mean, when I saw the videos of how far up the water was getting, 1,000 feet inland, that's a lot to deal with, a lot of erosion. So fantastic job all around on that. Somebody who was I looked up to, worked with, Mr. James Overton has passed away. Lived right across the street when you come out here from the admin building here, and just a fantastic gentleman. Really enjoyed my time spent working with him over the years in the restaurant industry. So I'd be remiss not to mention him, and I hope, God's with his family in this time of need, and we're certainly going to miss him. I enjoyed all my time spent with him. And on a positive note, this Friday is the annual Marlin Bowl between Manio and First Flight, Friday night at 7 at First Flight High School. I went to school before the schools were split, but I am a Wancheeser, so therefore I will be pulling for Manio.
Cool.
And that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. I was just given this copy of a letter. I want to give a shout out to Congressman Murphy. Right after the storm, Bobby and I went down. It was a Friday afternoon, and we met Commissioner Balance down there as well. We toured the FUD site, and it was pretty nasty site, to say the least, from the storm. So when I came back, I drafted a letter, and I shared that letter with the board that I sent to Senator Tillis, Senator Budd, and Congressman Murphy. And immediately, Congressman Murphy sent a letter to Brigadier General Miller. And I'd like to share that letter with you that he sent after he received my letter of concern about the FUD site. Yeah, and I did have a phone call with him as well. He said to General Miller, he said, as you are aware, Hurricane Aaron uncovered a great deal of military infrastructure that had been, and bear with me, I'm reading this off a cell phone, it's hard to see it, buried for decades at the formerly used defense site, FUDS, at Buxton, North Carolina. Additionally, petroleum, despite all previous remediations, continues to leak throughout the area from the ground. While I'm generally appreciative of the work that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has done so far, I must insist that the site is completely clean to prevent further environmental disasters. And he was certainly echoing my sentiments that I put in a letter to him. The FUD site has turned into a safety and environmental debacle. I respectfully request a full and comprehensive evaluation conducted of the site with the goal of completely removal of all of the exposed infrastructure and any that might be buried. There must be historical construction documentation that can be referred to that would show where additional infrastructures might be, and especially where any underground petroleum storage tanks are located. Therefore, I request those historical records be a part of your evaluation report. I am committed to working with you and the two senators to ensure you have the resources you need to finish this job once and for all. The final cleanup must be done thoroughly due to the critical safety issues that are facing my cherished constituents. Your consideration is greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Greg Murphy. He wrote that letter as soon as he received my letter of frustration about cleaning up the site, and the very next day they were down. So our letters, our being on site that Friday, and my reaching out to both senators and Congressman Murphy with a pretty staunch critical letter of the site, Representative Murphy immediately turned that around. I spoke to him on the phone personally, and the very next day, there were representatives from the Corps there discussing it with Bobby, myself, and Commissioner Balance and Superintendent Halleck. And I was very cautious in my criticism that Colonel Sturgeon has done everything he said he was going to do with respects to the cleaning up that site. And I made it very clear in my letter to the senators and the congressmen that we were grateful of all the work that he had done, and he was committed to doing that. But the site, he needed, I said in the letter, he needed the resources to complete his job and complete cleaning up that site tremendously. And then there was we went back down the following Monday, and Sturgeon was there as well, and we had an opportunity to meet with him, and he was very grateful of my comments with respects to letting them know that he had done his job. He just needs the resources. He can get it done. He just needs the money and the resources to do it. So this is very encouraging that sometimes government works, you know, and I'm very grateful to Representative Murphy and his staff, and I want to publicly acknowledge that he stepped up to the plate and helped us with this. So just wanted to share that with you. With that being said, does anybody else have anything they'd like to add today? If not, we need a motion to adjourn till 9 a.m. on October the 6th.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor by the Vice Chair.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Balance. This is the second time we've done this morning. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimous.